Welcome everyone to the show. Hey, listen, we got a very important show planned tonight, and just wanted to welcome you guys. And got our secret agents here, and we're gonna get started. We're just giving a little bit of time tonight because of the level of importance of this particular segment, and we just want to get it all in. So got our secret agent Ryan in the house. How you doing, Ryan?
Hey, good evening.
All right. So we're gonna give a few minutes, not long. I want to be conscious of everyone's time. But while I'm doing that, let me just go ahead and do the intro. Do you mind if I do the intro, Ryan?
Oh yes, please.
All right. All right. So welcome, friends, to Amir Shakur Speaks with your host Amir King 7 Shakur. That's me. And we got along Ryan and Ryan's Gang Chicago. Please follow and like his YouTube channel as well as a host of friends, which we'll be announcing you guys as well as you're coming in and joining us. So, again, I'd like to welcome you to Amir Shakur Speaks, which brings the best of urban, faith, politics, and news, all done from the inspirational perspective. So that's my sweep. If you have not done so, please like and subscribe. Tonight's show is sponsored by the Thornton Township Citizens Action Committee. That's our crew. Woo, woo, woo. And the Chicago Urban Daily. Hey. Okay, you know what? The Harvey Historical Society. We can't forget about those guys, right? You know who those guys are?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and acknowledge those groups. But let me go ahead and do the sweep appeal just for everyone. And again, I'd like to welcome everyone in the chat room, everyone who is going to join us, who hasn't joined us. And if you're going to be watching the show live, please like and subscribe. Just share the information, y'all. Okay. All right. So going back to the sweep, we're talking about a pretty controversial topic, right? And it's if we wanted to put it in order, it's really about political corruption in a city called Harvey, Illinois. For those who don't know, it's a small town. It's roughly about what did you say? About 20 minutes outside of downtown Chicago, Ryan, to say the best.
Right, with no traffic.
With no traffic, yeah. If you're getting there with no traffic, Harvey is located in Cook County, Illinois. Cook County, Illinois, United States. For those who don't know, just to break it down a little bit further, and the population is about 21,000 people. So, talking small. But it's bordered by villages of Dixmoor, Riverdale to the north, Dalton and Phoenix, and South Highland, and that's going to be, I believe, on the east side of the town or the community, Ryan. And East Hazelcrest to the south, Hazelcrest and Markham and Poston are going to be to the west, right? So the city of Harvey has been making a lot of news, for those who don't know, and recently voted unanimously by the city to request a certification as a financially disabled city under the Illinois financially distressed city law, right? So that's what the city did. That's what the leadership and its current mayor did. And if the Department of Revenue certifies the city as such, then it will mean that state oversight over the city's budget and contracts and more options for accessing additional credit will be available. You can jump in and stop me wherever you want, Ryan. I'm just going to roll right through this just to explain to people, the latest news and views. And even with state oversight, if Harvey can't address the biggest issue, which is its budget, after years, almost a decade of financial mismanagement, miscontributions, and just not even the public getting information, it's going to be a catastrophe if it's bailed out by the state. And so far, what we know is that the state has not come to the rescue. They haven't come. The cavalry has not shown up in Harvey, as we know yet. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Right.
you,
Yeah. No. No.
you
And
know,
the mayor's in hiding and hoping for hoping that the state will bail him out, and we do not want the state to bail him out because he doesn't deserve to be bailed out. We need to actually figure out where the money's been going all these years.
right. I mean, I think it would be a catastrophe to give the city a carte blanche check. And as we've been informed, I can't verify, neither deny or verify that the city has had bailouts in the past. I wouldn't doubt that that would be the case, but you know, um, here's some examples of the problems that I just want to spell out for people. The Harvey Police Pension Fund won a $7 million settlement judgment against the city in 2017. And that has been a problem. There's also been multi-million dollar payouts. The last police chief sued the city for mismanagement and won a $3 million payout. I believe it was 3 million. And like I said recently, even after the city has laid off 40 police and fire employees, it might even be more than that. We just don't really know the accurate number. Harvey had to negotiate with both pension boards as well as the municipal retirement fund to access that portion of his tax revenues just to meet payroll. So basically, it's been a cluster of none other at best. And now Harvey has requested the state oversight, which again it hasn't shown up, followed by partially shutting down services and furloughing over 40% of the city's workers, 40% of this workforce. I mean, here's what you need to know about the dire straits that push Harvey to the point to where its financial oversight is needed, but it can't go through. So Harvey deserves better, okay? And I'm going to yield, Ryan. So just get prepared. And what we don't want to do is we don't want to bail out the city of Harvey because of the disgusting. I'm gonna use that word for lack of better use of the word. The disgusting level of mismanagement, almost to the point where it's offensive, right? Corrupt leaders, just throwing money at corrupt leaders won't change Harvey. It's going to hurt Harvey even more. So what we need is a fresh start. We want to be able to put people in position that are going to be accountable to the community. And that is the exact opposite of what this current leadership under Mayor Christopher Clark, not a newbie at all, by no means. I mean, prior to serving as mayor for the last 7 years, he was actually, in the city council. He was an alderman. I mean, he's been there on the scene, on the spot for probably almost the better part of 2 decades. So, I mean, somebody who should be in the know, somebody who should be able to come in and make change. But I mean, what gives, Ryan? I mean, he just doesn't seem to be able to do the job. And I mean, what are some of the reasons that you're hearing and some of the things that you believe about it?
Right. Yeah. Because when he ran, a lot of people when he ran for the his first term in 2019, a lot of people, including myself, did support him. He promised that he would fix up all the dilapidated buildings, either get them into the hands of people who could fix them up, or if they were, burnt out and unsalvageable, then demolish them. He promised to fix the streets, turn the street lights on. He promised transparency, accountability. He promised that he would listen to residents, and it's the past 7 years he has not done any of that. We still have streets that are horrible. We don't have enough lights. They have fixed some of the lights, to be fair, but I mean, to fix some of the major lights that have been out in the city over 7 years, and that's all you've been able to do is just fix some of the lights. It's just nuts. It's really crazy. And then he's actively been extorting our businesses, and so many businesses have actually left Harvey. during Clark's 7 years in office. I mean, it's really bad.
Can we, for the purposes of transparency, can we say allegations of extortion? Can we just use those words?
You can, but I mean, it's pretty clear. I mean, it's
Mhm.
Colby Chapman actually and others have shared from the city the agreements that the mayor makes the businesses sign. Has made some signs saying that they owe property taxes and they will not be allowed to operate. They cannot be open unless they pay him in the city of Harvey, let's say $2,500 a month, and that does not go towards property taxes owed. We don't know where it goes. So, that sounds like extortion to me. People have been saying it, but yeah, if you want to put allegedly in front of it, just to be on the safe side, you can always do that.
So Ryan, let's go back, and because we want to paint a very clear picture, and I just want to be really, really clear about this. Let's go back about Mayor Clark himself, and just for the purposes of illustration, I want to add to the stage. This is the beautiful and lovely Mayor Christopher Clark, right? So let's talk about Mr. Clark in general, okay? So highlighting significant controversy in resident frustration, which you are a resident, and political conflict. Some of the key details, like you mentioned, I mean, Mayor Clark administration have been in turmoil for the last 2 years, more specifically. Some of the issues residents and us as the activists have protested against the mayor, calling for his resignation due to allegations of mismanagement, financial issues, and these high pressure tactics. Let's talk a little bit about some of the high pressure tactics, because again, we want to paint the picture. So I think that at one point we were doing a show at your location, at your house, and you showed a stack of tickets that were like probably this big, like the size of a novel, right? And can you talk a little bit about that?
Right, exactly. So that's more of that extortion, where the city will ticket individuals and businesses for things they didn't do, things they did not do wrong, but they count on the fact that you have to show up to this city court. I call it extortion court, and that you're going to be intimidated by Patrick Walsh, and who's an attorney that Clark has hired, and their so-called judge or hearing officer, who's what authority, like who is he, but they make the whole thing seem very intimidating, and they want to make you pay things, and to say, well, we're going to charge you $500, but if you pay today, we'll knock it down to $300. And then there, and you're like, but wait, I didn't do anything wrong. Why should I be paying anything? And so that these are the sorts of high pressure techniques that they try to do to either silence people or just to get money. You can be quiet. A lot of people say, "Oh, I just want to stay under the radar," and I said, "Yeah, but it's not gonna save you your business, because Clark for years has been desperate for cash, desperate for money. So even if you're quiet and you never say anything, it doesn't matter. They'll come after you to try to get money out of you."
Right. So let's do this, Ryan. I want to provide an illustration, but just a video illustration, news illustration. But again, just to your point, and let's emphasize this point, and then we'll go into the video. Mayor Clark has been accused of suppressing free speech at City Hall. He's been accused of clearing city council chambers and ordering the removal of residents from public meetings. We've also just talked, like you just mentioned, we talked about unfair ticketing and unfair policies when it comes to billing of residents, and we'll talk a little bit more about that. But let's go into a video, and I'm going to go into the video, which I'm going to go into the video file, which when I came aboard, the reason why I came aboard was because of this video. So let's go ahead and share that screen with the people, and then we'll take it from there. Let's look at that. Let's see if I can pull it up. Okay, there we go. See if you can see that. Can you see that?
Not yet. No, I still see Mayor Clark's face.
You still see Mayor Clark? Okay. Let's add it to the stage then. And let's remove Mr. Clark and let's add it to the stage. There we go. So let's play this video, and I think it will be self-explanatory. Okay, give me 1 second.
Topping the 10 video you'll see only on 2 tonight, another southern suburb with chaotic confrontations at City Hall.
We've told you about the ongoing investigations over spending in Dalton, often causing blow-ups between the mayor and residents. And tonight, tensions boiled over in Harvey.
How dare you send your police after peaceful residents?
Business owners there say they're being slapped with unnecessary fees, but city leaders say they need the money. CBS 2's Charlie tomorrow live for us in the control room, hearing from both sides tonight. Charlie?
And Joe and Erica, some of the frustration in Harvey is over the mayor's plan to collect on delinquent property taxes. Some of the business owners we spoke to today say their business licenses have been withheld in exchange for a fee, calling the program extortion.
But to us, this is where everything started.
Benicia Gonzalez hasn't been able to open her auto repair business in South Suburban Harvey since May.
From one day to the next, we were forced to shut down, and the sign was put on our window.
The shop, which has been in Gonzalez's family for over 2 decades, had its business license renewal denied because they owe property taxes.
I'm doing everything that I can in my power to pay these tax bills that was left behind, but you know, I'm only 24 years young, and I'm doing what I can do.
Harvey business owners in a similar position were offered a settlement agreement with the city. Pay $2,500 a month and keep your business open.
You say, come on, if you don't mind coming here.
We caught up with Harvey Mayor Christopher Clark as he left a special city council meeting.
The only thing we're asking is for those businesses to pay their property taxes and stop using our city services for free.
It's unethical, right? I can't say it's illegal, but it certainly seems unethical.
Harvey Alderwoman Colby Chapman, a vocal critic of Mayor Christopher Clark,
I don't have any discussion. I just want you to
Thank you very much.
says the underserved suburb is at times dysfunctional.
Serve the people and know that we're elected to be here for the people.
Pastor Jonathan Johnson says he was in disbelief when he was told his church would need to register for a business license.
It was almost $700. I said, where did this come from? We are federally and state exempt from taxes. And I really do feel like it's more of a dictatorship here in the city of Harvey at this point.
How dare you send your police after peaceful...
Minutes into the city council meeting, someone in the audience was removed by police at the direction of Mayor Clark. Officers handcuffed the man and led him out of City Hall.
I'm the chair, and I am responsible for keeping the order. If people in the audience or in the council do not want to keep that order, then they will be removed.
I'm calling on every state official. We need help. We need strong oversight.
And Mayor Clark says safety is the reason that churches now need business licenses. Without one, he says that the city is unable to inspect churches. Reporting live tonight in the control room, I'm Charlie DeMar, CBS 2 News. Joe and Erica.
Thank you, Charlie.
All right. So
that was a lie right there.
So we're
safety inspections for years on churches.
Yeah. So we're addressing the safety issues in Harvey, Ryan, as the reason why Clark is trying, or had at that point tried to put the illustrious world famous cease and desist on the businesses. And also, I just want to add a little bit of a caveat for those who don't know. What happened to the young lady? Did she have to close down shop? I know she was 24. She had just inherited that auto shop. And I think, did they go out of business? Are they currently in business? Do you know what the status of?
Well, no, they still have a location in South Holland. So, go patronize them. Please do.
Yeah, they definitely need help.
South Holland.
Yeah, we'll put their information up so people can, get by there and support them. So, again, for those who are just joining us, we're talking about not just City Hall tension. We're talking about corruption in the city of Harvey and why the city has been in the position that it's been in. Well, the first thing is, when you have a mayor that has been accused of suppressing free speech, like we've seen, when you have heavy-handed tactics of police brutality, residents have complained on issues such as a 3% water hike, delays in businesses license, just like you saw the requirement for churches to obtain business license. And what other city and what other state? I mean, if you do, it'll be slim to none that a church who is supposed to be tax exempt needs to obtain a business license. So,
Right.
I mean, Clark has had a public contentious relationship with not just the community, yourself, Alderman Chapman, to be honest with you, this mayor seems to have a problem with the world. So, I do believe, Ryan, in my heart of hearts, I believe that, amidst all of these other scandals, which we'll talk about, I believe that, Clark is a lot of the problem, and I think that the last statement that we saw roughly that he made just prior to Christmas was that a lot of the problems, especially when that requesting a furlough, was from a previous administration of the last mayor, Eric Kellogg. And I mean, here's the thing: what gives? You've been in office for roughly 7 years now. 7 years, and you're still blaming the last administration. So let's say the community. Let's hear from some of the comments from the people, and I just want you to address the video. I mean, Ryan, you were featured very prominently in that video, and I want to address, where have you gone and some of the issues that have come up since that video. So if you could start right there while we're going to pull up and go to some of the comments.
Right. He did a follow-up video too, that Charlie.
Okay.
I don't know if you guys have seen that, but he interviewed me again and got more information. I think once he found out who I was, maybe I contacted him. I forget, because at first he was just calling me like the man or something. The man.
Okay. You're the man. Here's a question from Cheryl. Cheryl was saying, is it Sherelle? Is it Shiel?
I think it's Share. I think it's Share. Share. Right? They call you.
Okay, let's go with Share. I think we'll go with Share just for the purpose of not knowing it. Forgive us, Share. Does every business Does every business that has a Harvey address, are those licenses available to the public, whether those businesses get federal or state funds to operate, or if they are nonprofit? So the question is, does every business that has an address in Harvey, does the city show that the licenses are available? Is that public information? I'll answer and then you can answer. At a certain point, legally, if it is a business that operates in any municipality, then there is a database that you can research and get information, whatever limited information there is, depends upon the municipality, the state, the county, those sort of things. But if a business is operating in a municipality, then they should be able to get let me back that up. The public should have access to that information. Now, as far as what funds they get in state and federal and local, I don't think that we would readily have access to that information unless it was a state level grant and the database was made known. But I'm not saying that that's always the case. What do you say, Ryan?
Yeah, you could, if you know the name of the LLC or company name, you can look it up on under the Illinois Secretary of State.
Yeah. Welcome, Holt. Welcome, Holt. Clark is terrible. Thank you for that. Thank you for that further acknowledgement. I'm sure that there'll be several dozen folks, probably to the 200s, that'll agree with you. So, let's see. We're gonna go to some more comments, and then churches are exempt from business licenses. Well, you know what? There's a lot of exemptions for churches for them to operate. So there's questions in reference to that, but I mean, we never felt like the we never felt like Mr. Clark and his endeavors have been legitimate, both ethically and legally. So that's the ongoing question, and that's the ongoing challenge. It's the gauntlet that we're throwing down. So, so funny. Harvey's sign looks exactly like Harvey's grocery store sign. Well, hey, it might have been the same person who painted him. Sure, we don't know. Everybody in government is coming. They never get tip out. Government and mayors are all together. Huge mafia. I mean, you know what? There's a lot of cronyism that exists especially in small towns, especially in municipalities and machine cities. So none of that do we doubt. Okay. Ryan, so what has been the follow up since the last video? Can we talk to the public about that?
Oh, you mean since our press conference?
No, let's go back a little bit further. Let's talk about some of the ongoing public information videos that we put out. I guess we can start with a little bit about those for the purposes of just clarification. I did not bring those videos, but what I wanted to do was I just wanted to describe those videos, and then I want to go back to July 4th, July 14th. So, but let's update the people about maybe the last 3 public information videos and while we're doing those videos and where they can see them at.
Right. Yeah. So I typically will cover all the Harvey public meetings for the city anyway. I try to cover the library and the parks as well if I can. So yeah, you can find, if you go to ryansgaychicago.com. It's my I'll put it in the chat here. Is my website, and it has everything from there. So you can find the Historical Society info on Facebook as well as my YouTube and everything. So people go there. But yeah, I try to have all, share all those videos. We did have a city council meeting last Monday, a week ago, but Mr. Clark couldn't be bothered to show.
Ramona, one of our other secret agents. Hello, how are you? And then Beth McBride, it's good to say allegedly. So Ryan, so the other thing that we've also been doing, and I just wanted to inform the public, is we've been doing mini, most likely they're averaging about 3-minute videos. And those videos are just for public awareness about some of the issues, because we feel, I'm going to express why we're doing those videos and that the public needs to continue watching out for those videos. We feel that in the age of shorts, you go to YouTube shorts, you go to Facebook shorts, that shorts are a very effective means in getting a message out. So if we can do a 90-second short as opposed to doing a 3-hour show, then we can get a lot of information captured in a quicker amount of time. So the last few shorts that we've done, the first one we did was we did a video outside of the mayor's house, to whereas he has a $100,000 camera set up on his personal house in Harvey, which was illegally gated, I believe. I was told. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but that video's out there, and this house sits adjacent to a block that's right behind a major hospital, but there's also a level of security to whereas the house comes with an auxiliary police 24/7 force. I don't even know if they're auxiliary. They might be just live officers that are just guarding this house. And, with the level of crime that's happening in Harvey, I mean, we're talking about the high level of political waste. So, to Holt's point, Christopher Clark is a problem and he's got to go. What do you want to say?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's he must be feeling the pressure because he's been so quiet and really has not been publicly present since October 27th.
Mm-hmm.
It's pretty crazy to shut down the city, lay off almost half the workers, and then just disappear.
Yeah, Beth says very large cameras near the mayor's house. So, the ethical violations to me just seem so bold. It's like, for somebody to take this is a city of roughly 21,000 people. And I don't even think, that's according to the last census. We don't even know if that's even accurate. But for 20,000 people, and you have a privatized camera system just on your house with an auxiliary force, and we didn't even talk about the mayoral escorts that he has to and from, and that for me,
Right.
it's
He doesn't
just,
even drive. He gets driven around.
I'm just,
In the vehicle that we pay for.
so the city of Chicago, Mayor, we could see it. Maybe even the city the size of what, Chicago, maybe 27 27 million. I just don't know. We have to check. It's in the millions. It's in the millions.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, I could see that same, and actually, I could honestly probably say the mayor of Chicago might have a similar setup. I mean, it's just absorbent abuse, absorbent abuse of power, absorbent abuse of authority. And Ryan, I wanted to go back and just real quick show another illustration. And this is where my personal issue came in, and where I know we started roughly last summer. Once I saw that video that I just showed the public of how this mayor was being a tyrant and heavy-handed tactics. So, there's no bias with me, and I'm very transparent when I say that I am thoroughly invested in making sure that this mayor is removed from office, either by force or through the election process. So I definitely wanted to show the July 14th speech that I made at City Hall, which is really one of the things that I think caused the mob action. I wanted to show that because I think it's very pertinent, and then we'll come back around because I do also have video from the last meeting. So if you don't mind, let me share the screen from that, and then we could talk a little bit about that, okay?
And I also shared the link to the petition to call on Clark to resign now, and
okay, we'll definitely pull that up. So let's start right here. Clark is just doing a speech for those who don't know. Can you see that screen? Nope. Okay, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna add it.
Yeah, I'll probably just add it to the stage.
All right. Let me add it. All right. It's not. Let me try it again. Sometimes the technology doesn't work with us as like we wanted to, so we got to be very specific. Right. Can you see it now? Let me add it to the stage.
Yes.
And let me remove this one.
Thank you, Cher. Cher said she signed the petition early on. Foxy said hello.
Hey, Foxy Roxy. Okay, here we go. Let's play this.
Testing 1, 2. Good morning, Mr. Flood. Everyone else. Got a couple of concerns in reference to an ongoing situation that I've been here and I've discussed quite a few times. And it started about 4 weeks ago when you met and you would establish an ongoing relationship with a community member as a confidant. Immediately you open up privileged information. These are not allegations. This is from his testimony with information on said individual with confidential data. Over a period of 4 weeks, the individual or individuals, because it wasn't just one person, it was a group of people, harassed, threatened with violence, and even physically assaulted a business owner with violence. That business owner was hospitalized. Yes, that business owner was hospitalized. Mob action and guns were included in this action. The police stood down while the business owner was visited, including Officer Mariano, on several occasions. Tens of thousands of dollars of inventory was stolen from the said business owner. I want to play a witness statement from the individual, one of the individuals involved in this mob action, and we have several, including the business owner's people, the business owners, employees, who have actually sat down and met with, including their attorney, and we are working on what happens next. So I just want the community to listen to this. And this is one piece, one video from the particular assault and mob action. This is witness testimony. So when we were doing a survey, Hassan showed up. He called the police. The police had no legal authority in anything because no crime was committed. When the police left, Hassan tried to, with a sharp object, flag our tires. We was trying to flag the tires of our vehicle. Then one of the gentlemen that was with me ran up to him and said, "Hey man, what are you doing?" Hassan tried to stab the person that was in the we're trying to stop. What you think gonna happen? You are lying to her point. He defended himself. I'm gonna stop right there because there's another piece about the several videos and witness statements that we have, but this is one that's involving a $20,000 payout that allegedly you took, Mr. Clark, from this individual, and I want you to hear this. Thank you very much.
Okay, so Ryan, I think Mr. Clark allegedly stopped me from talking about that $20,000 alleged payout. I think I still had a little bit more time, but you know, as history would tell it, roughly about an hour and a half that evening, I got jumped on a corner block, on the dark block on 154th and Myrtle and Harvey by some provocateurs, a group of provocateurs, and as history would also tell it, the event was largely covered up by the Harvey police authorities and the city attorney. Wonder how. So now, you know, it's coming full circle and we've gotten a lot of information, but I mean, you know, these heavy-handed tactics of this mayor, allegations that this mayor would go as far as having people assaulted, you know, he'll go to whatever means to make sure that his interests are protected. And what are those interests? Again, it's a matter of corruption. I'm gonna yield. I'm gonna let you speak from there.
Right. Yeah. Foxy said DC is a city twice the residents, or much bigger. Our mayor doesn't have chaperones and camera on her home. Exactly. Cook County said, "Hey, Crook."
Hey, Crook.
But Beth said because Harvey's corrupt. Absolutely. But you should come back, Amir. Maybe you should come back and go more in depth about this alleged $20,000 payoff. You should come back and finish.
What I would like for you to do is I would like for you to discuss Hassan and basically when I made that, because I think a lot of people forgot about the statement that was made that night and what it was all about.
Right.
And, but I want you to come full circle and talk about the Hassan piece if you don't mind.
Oh no, but you know more about. I think you know more about that.
Well,
I just interviewed him, and he said that there were some supposed payments involved.
So for those who who aren't aware, Hassan, which actually his last name is Hassan, but he is an well-established Indian lineage, Indian descent businessman who basically owns American Kitchen, which is a factory that deals with providing food to the airlines. Is kind of what they do at American Kitchen. They provide like the food trays to the airlines, the little small meal trays that you get when you get on the airplanes. And I don't know logistically how their situation works, what airlines they deal with. I don't know any of that, but I do know that he has a staff, he has a team, he has a compound, which is a factory that's been there for a long time. And it was built upon an area where abandoned or rundown apartments were. And I think at that point, I'm not sure contractually how it worked. But anyway, he got the area, and the apartments were torn down, and his establishment was built. I think that thing has probably been there probably for just over a decade or more. But I know he's been in relations with the city because he's been in business. He's had relations with the city going back to maybe 3 mayors. As a matter of fact, professor
it's been there for a while.
As a matter of fact, a professor of mine, David Johnson, was actually the person who actually assisted in bringing him to Harvey. And David Johnson was my sociology professor at South Suburban College. So, I mean, that just kind of gives you an idea of lineage. And so, I mean, so in the video, and the statement that I made was when this particular op, for lack of better use of the word, he was personally describing how he physically assaulted Hassan. They were trying to get the property, him and his people, and it was sanctioned by Mayor Clark, or they never intervened. The police were actually on scene several times, and there was police brutality. There was a high-speed chase. So this gentleman is an elderly gentleman. He's got to be his mid-70s. Not sure if he's reached the 80 point, but definitely up there in age. He's elderly. So he was actually literally put in the hospital. And one of the things that I did was defend this person because, I mean, nobody deserves that. And what happened was that, I played the video segment of this heinous thing that was described to whereas when he was beat up by these ops, this hench mob, basically while he was in the hospital, they stole hundreds of thousands of dollars in inventory of cars because he had a repair shop at that point, and the cars were stolen out. And this was not stopped by the city. As a matter of fact, the allegation is the city helped with the corruption of removing these cars from the facility of Hassan. So over the course of a following period of maybe a month and a half, he was continuously harassed as a business owner, one of the business owners, by this group. And, the harassment did not stop. And a lot of times the harassment was assisted by the local police. I'll yield there.
No, absolutely. I just wanted to mention, let me see. Crook said 1981. That sounds about right. I mean, like I said, I know Hassan's been there for a while.
You mean okay. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna show that. I'm pull it up. Crook said 1981.
I know he's been in Harvey for a while.
Thank you, Crook. Yeah. I mean, I could see that. Ryan, this is Bryant Unlimited LLC. Welcome, Bryant Unlimited. Ryan, please remind everyone to sign that petition, and they don't have to use their legal names, in fear of retaliation. Yeah, we want as much information as possible, just so you guys know, but
you can mark to like, if you want your information kept anonymous, that's fine. You can just be a number. And other people have been, they're like, no, I don't want to be anonymous. I want it to be public, and they'll leave comments too. It's up to you. But yes, if you are afraid of retaliation, you can choose to be anonymous.
Yeah, for those who are just joining us, and we appreciate this engaged conversation. What we're talking about is exposing corruption in Harvey, Illinois. It's a small town of about 20,000, where there's been a flurry of allegations, with allegations of a corrupt mayor, a corrupt police force, and a corrupt officials who were on the ground doing everything from allegations of stealing funds to allegations of resident and business shakedowns. So, and it's, I mean, if I took the name Harvey out and put Old West, you would think you were in some kind of Old West, city. And this was just some kind of movie. I mean, I can't make these things up. All right. If you haven't liked, please like and follow the live stream. If you guys want to join the conversation, let's do that. I'm going to throw it out. You guys can come in and join myself and Ryan in the conversation just by coming into this. If you're in the chat, you can do that if you want to join the conversation. If you got something to offer, but we're going to keep on going, y'all. And so this next video, Ryan, that I want to share this video is the last meeting, right? So that's where we're at. We are at the last meeting. So with the corruption that we've already addressed, we'll talk a little bit about the legal and financial issues amidst the claims of 165 million debt. Clark recently dropped out of sight, and I mean, to be honest with you, the last time he was seen was he was twerking with a little lady at a picnic or a Christmas picnic or something crazy, but it wasn't anything official, so while he's there twerking, basically the same day of this alleged, I won't even say alleged, I would say this unofficial Christmas party, which was unnecessary. I mean, there was a city council meeting that he passed up. There was a chance and opportunity to talk about all of these furloughed employees, and I can guarantee you, Ryan, and community, that Mr. Clark, I mean, to be honest with you, if it was supposed to be a seniors event to where seniors got gifts and so on and so forth. But I'm gonna ask Mr. Clark or anybody who can answer this question: did any of the furloughed employees from the fire department or the police department who lost their jobs, did their children get gifts for Christmas? I mean, I think that would have been an advantageous pursuit for you, Mayor Clark. I think that we are we're just in our neck deep with corruption here, mismanagement, and the call for those who are just joining us is Mayor Clark needs to go. So what I want to do is, because Mayor Clark has been absent for whatever reason, persona non grata is what we're going to call it, I want to share a little bit of the last city council meeting video and just share some segments so we can all discuss it. And we'll show your part, Ryan, and then I want to show a couple of more parts. So let me pull that up. Bear with me, y'all, and let's go to the regular meeting. Here we go.
You're talking about last week's?
Yes, sir. The last city council meeting, and let me add it to the stage. And I just want to pull up some pertinent parts of this meeting, y'all, for consumption. So give me 1 second while I queue it up.
And while you're doing that, Brian said the corruption can be calculated from, parking fees, false lawn tickets, fluctuating water bills.
Well, Ryan, you know what I'll do is I was going to say the best for last, but let's get to your part. I want to show your part. So let's give me 1 second and let me pull this up, and we're going to play your 3-minute speech. Okay.
Okay.
So common ground. So just want to end with that. And they're down.
Right.
Oh, by the way, let me stop that. The person who spoke before actually talked a little bit about this Christmas gathering and how it was a wonderful gathering. Again, I want to go and say that, Mayor Clark, you have a financial, ethical, and moral responsibility that you've had employees. I mean, if you were going to do anything for anybody, it should be your employees who you laid off. I'm sure they have children. I'm sure that they would have enjoyed some of those gifts. So, I mean, I think that would have been a great use of your finances and a great use of your time. So for you to boast about giving gifts away, you had children who couldn't have Christmas because they were laid off. So, I mean, let's put that and notate that.
Right. And the seniors are there. They cater to them because they want their votes. Not because they care.
Jacqueline Wilson.
It's Sindwowski. So it's changed from the original Polish. Could be worse. Good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan Sindwowski. Happy holidays from the Harvey Historical Society, Brian City, Chicago. and which is my YouTube, and then also Chicago Stop and Politics, and just me. So there have been no public city meetings since October 27th, as we know. Mayor Clark pushed the council to shut down the city. He went into hiding, and he's begging the state to bail him out. That was actually, he's shocked he's not here tonight. Like, it's pretty bold because we really don't know where the money's been going the past few years, and he's not even here. My question is, though, why should the state bail Harvey out when we don't know how, or what Mayor Clark and his four altar yes men have done with the money for the past 7 years? Would you give money to someone who is not telling the truth about how they're spending money and they're cheating and they're harassing people? I mean, I wouldn't. So, I mean, we got to make some changes here. Tonight, Mayor Clark wants to vote on the tax levy. We need that in order to collect taxes, but will that be another tax increase? Now, I did look that up, sort of between the break, and as far as I can tell, I was comparing some tax bills. The city tax rate has increased, so we can do more research and definitely get back to people. But look it up on your own. Don't take my word for it. But it unfortunately does look like the city tax levy is between 23 and 24. My question is, why was that vote delayed for so long? How can you increase our property taxes? The streets are full of holes. The lights don't work. City properties are vacant. They're falling apart. Where's the money going? I mean, Mayor Clark gets paid. The overpaid senior staff that cater to him, that don't really do the frontline work, they're getting paid. The four alder yes men, they get paid, but the city looks like trash. We have fires breaking out weekly. No info's given about that. 2 buildings owned by Harvey and Myrtle burned recently. Why is the city allowing city properties to burn? Firefighters and police, they are working at unsafe staffing levels. Why are the dollar stores closed down? Are you trying to run out every business in Harvey? Mayor Clark said we're broke, yet we're in a 5-year, $2 million plus contract with Flock Safety to pay for those 3D surveillance cameras. They can follow you by license plate and also by facial recognition. So they can follow you everywhere you go within the city of Harvey. So why don't you cancel that contract, save us some money? Here's some other solutions. Reduce pay for all city officials, bring back all the laid off staff, release all financial records immediately, have Mayor Clark resign, have a forensic audit done by the state, and return all those leased city vehicles that the staff are driving home. Go to ryansgachicago.com to find our anonymous tip line and to sign the petition calling for Clark's immediate resignation and a forensic audit. We've got over 100 signers so far. And all we need, before I always vote with Clark, we only need 2 votes to change the way the city's going. So anytime you're ready to do business.
All right, Ryan, you want to break that down for the people because there's a part that I want to go into next, but I know you have some things to say about that, so feel free.
Oh. No, I mean, I was pretty happy with my comments. No, I said I was pretty, is there any part of that you want to elaborate about this evening? Well, the last part, because it's true, we only need 2 more votes on the city council, and then we can basically start getting stuff done, and it doesn't matter what Mayor Clark or the 2 other ones want to do. So let's keep that pressure going. We only need 2 more votes.
So let's think about that, guys, because we want to make this actionable. We will not rest. We will not stop until this mayor and his cohorts who are removed. So, at the end of this conversation, which won't be too long, but we will talk a little bit about actionable things and things that we can do to affect change. I do want to say what you guys are going to see next in this next part of the video is Dominique Randall L is an alderman. For which ward is that, Ryan?
For the 5th ward. For
the 5th ward, and he struck an optimistic tone for the coming year. So I mean, for me, it's a narrative that's a twist on reality, because I mean, how are we optimistic when you've got furloughed city employees? How are we going to have an amazing 2026 when you have people who can't even afford to feed their children, and this is going on since the summer. So now we're going on 3-4 months, maybe if not longer, And there are a ton of concerns with the statement that I'm going to play from Dominique Randall L. But I mean, when he made the statement, I cringed, So I want someone to tell Dominique Randall L., the alderman of you said 6th Ward, 5th Ward, Mr. 5th Ward, Dominique, I need you to be realistic, and I need you, when you are discussing things to the community, I need that narrative to be realistic, because there's a ton of problems in your community, and for you to fantasize, I don't know what world you were living in, I don't know what meeting you were at, but if you are the mayor pro term or the interim mayor for that night, or who presided over the city council, what you needed to do was, and what you need to do if going forward, is be realistic with the community and not lie to them. All right. So let's play that video, because it pissed me off. All right. I want to play that video, and then we'll discuss that just a little bit more. But let me play that.
Thank you, Ms. Wilson. If you could just step up. I just want to say something really fast here. This is kind of an example of what I'm talking about. He's not running. He's not hiding. He's not afraid.
Really?
He's human. Anybody think about that? He's human. I'm not going to put his business out there, but you don't even know that man's sick. You don't know if he had a loss in his family. He's human. Why are we doing this? That's right. Why are we putting this stuff out in the atmosphere? So much you don't like him.
That was
We're
Tyrone.
going too far. He's human. I wish he was robotic. I wish he was some type of superhero. But unfortunately, he's human. Things happen to people. Let's stop this. It's getting ridiculous. It's not okay. And so I'm not going to allow those type of things to be said as if, please be quiet, these things are going on. It's not true. Let's stop this, y'all. It's not okay. Thank you, Ms. Wilson.
All right, so let's get to this. Let's break this down real quick. So, Dominic Randall L., let me say something to you, sir. While you were defending Mayor Clark from criticism, and you're saying that we don't know where he's at, he's human, I don't know the situation, but there's a lot of explaining to do. Well, I'm going to say that, as a sitting mayor of a municipality that is in trouble, we shouldn't have to be made to guess where this mayor is at. It should be his business to tell us, to explain to us his missing public absence. Just the same way that if his check was missing, that he would definitely protest about that. So while you were defending Clark from criticism, saying all of the audience knew and that he could be sick or with a loss in his family, well, maybe Mr. Clark should explain to the people why he's null and void, why he's absent, and that he's not running. But we can't tell he's not running. We can't tell he's not hiding, and we definitely can't tell he's not afraid. So what is he afraid of? And for you to be that person's defender not only says nothing for him, but it says less for you. Yes, we understand he's human, but the human thing to do is to be human to the people who lost their jobs, to be a little bit more, to show a little bit more humanity to your community that you are running from. So Randall L., this twisted narrative that you've made has to come to reality. And this is the reason why your city, our city here in Harvey, is in trouble, because of leaders and people like you. That's all I want to say.
Absolutely. No, I totally agree. And did you hear who was saying something like amen or whatever? I'm pretty sure that was Tyrone Rogers' voice. I'm like, of all people who should never be saying anything. Like, Tyrone, hey, would you like to tell us again how many women have credibly accused you of violent sexual assault against them? What did you say, Mr.
Yeah, we will address those issues really going forward, because I am totally vested. So for me, I am someone who will not stop until our Until our goal is accomplished, we have to get rid of these tyrants. And we started this endeavor, and we won't stop, and we'll continue this. And here's the thing that I want to share with the community, and I want to share with everyone who is in the audience. The public narrative is going. We are winning the propaganda war because more people are talking about the issues in Harvey. More people are aware of the issues in Harvey. And, the awareness piece says a lot. When you have a sitting mayor who's never been absent, who always has a lot to say, but literally is hiding, and hiding out. I mean, what does that say, So I'm going to let's bring Foxy Roxy on. Hey, I'm sorry about that. I got a little.
You shared the link again. I just wanted to say, in case you wanted people to come on.
I did. I just shared it.
Okay, because another Harvey resident that I've never seen come on before, he did.
Okay, yeah, Foxy, I just brung you on. If someone else wants to join, hey, if you got something to say, come to the table because we want your voices heard. Foxy, welcome.
Hi, hello, gentlemen. How are you? Hello, Chad.
Good evening.
Good evening. I watched part of the meeting, but I was, doing our show on OTR, so I had to get out of the meeting. But I was trying to watch some of the meeting because I try to stay up on what's going on there in Harvey in the meeting. And oh boy, that boy, the one you just played. Oh my God, he's a joke. He's a joke. And you're not gonna get anywhere right now. The biggest thing is y'all finances. Y'all can't go forward with anything until you find out where, how they say, follow the money. You got to find out where the money is going to resolve anything within your city. And right now, because even if the treasurer don't know where the money is, you all don't know where the money is. That's a problem. That is a problem. And the treasurer, I mean, maybe I'm wrong, but I thought the treasurer was supposed to relate back and forth with the bank. So if the treasurer don't know what's in the bank, they're not getting the money from them to know where everything is from the secretary. I have an issue with that because why she got a title and been elected as a treasurer and she's not being informed of anything. You're not, us talking about him and putting him down, what he's not doing until you all find out where the money is. There's nothing you all can do. Y'all have y'all have nothing, not even a nickel or a dime or a penny idea of where your money is. At least the trustees in Dalton had somewhat of an idea where some of the money is, but you all don't have no idea where the money is. And that is a problem. When the residents and the board, except for those little punkies, y'all little flunkies, sitting up there kissing his butt, brown nosing his behind. I'm talking about you four, and I don't sugarcoat shit. Excuse my language, but y'all sitting up there licking his behind, and why you sitting there doing your ward? Okay, from what I'm seeing and what I'm hearing, you ain't doing shit in your ward either. I'm like, it look like it's only two people even trying to do anything for the city that's on the board.
Can I stop you right there? Because here's the thing: we will find a way to clearly distinguish some of the positives about the board, the trust of the aldermen, and definitely distinguish a lot of the negatives and who's who and what's what and who's done what. Starting with Mr. Randall L. And but I do want to say that for those who don't know, Miss Chapman, for us, she's what Harvey should look like. Harvey leadership. I mean, she's at least trying to make an effort, trying to make a change. I think a lot of times she's, when you fight against when you fight up a grain, it's almost like you're moonwalking up a hill backwards. And you're going to get worn out eventually. Because it's like you're not getting anywhere because you're going against the grain, you're going against the natural order of things. So the natural order of things has to be uprooted, and that's what we want to do. we want to uproot things, and she can't. Maybe her and Tracy, who are, you know, the seemingly the future. I'm gonna say, for lack of, I don't see anyone more fit than them right now. So I want to be very specific, and I'm gonna say I think that a lot of times they get tired of the fight, and so, you know, maybe there's been times to where as they said, hey, you know what, we're just gonna be humble right now and just, you know, put these blinders on and just not look left or right. We just gonna stay focused, and it gets that way. We get it, because if anybody needs that he's human or she's human speech, I would say it would be Kobe Chapman and Tracy.
Right. And Faith, that's what I was saying. Those two, they're fighting so hard for this city. They want transparency for this city. And they're getting the doors slammed in their face. You know, here we are, you got people that got laid off and furloughed, and they get the information at the last minute. You know, these are people's livelihoods that they're playing with, and you know, they riding around with two jobs and vehicles and everything, and here firemen and police officers that's losing it, you know, have no income in, you know, for their Christmas holidays and the other holidays. Graduation is going to soon come up. We don't know if any kids graduating. You know, they're not going to have money to, you know, to help them out, you know, give them a little something to show their appreciation that they passed the grade and they're happy for them. You know, there's a lot of things. And then people if they got houses, they got to pay taxes. You fuss and bitch about the people not paying the taxes, but damn, you're taking their money where they can't pay the damn taxes.
Right.
Then I saw the report about, you know, they finally finding out about the scamming of the money with, you know, with the people, the residents making them pay all them damn tickets. I saw that report. Oh, take my word for it. I'll be watching in the cut. And I saw all about that information. And I'm like, how are you going to sit back and fuss about the people not paying the taxes when you're taking damn near every dime they get?
Right. It's a stupid argument. It's a distraction. It's a distraction.
So real quick, we're going to go on because we will find a way to highlight the specifics about these aldermen, but I just want to get to some of the comments. Crook, thank you for researching about Hassan. He's definitely an important element in this community. And, you know, I think that over the course of the next 2 weeks, we need to do a refresher with Hassan and just kind of see where he's at. And so American Kitchen, according to Crook, thank you for this update. American Kitchen Delights moved its operations to Harvey in 1994 and has been operating there ever since. The company was originally founded in Harvey, in Skokie. I'm sorry. Thank you, Crook. This is a voice, a person I haven't heard. Welcome. I personally think they think that the people who were talking about the audits seemed like they were acting to try to get us to understand the budget. Don't know what that means. Maybe you guys understand it. Maybe you can clarify that point a little bit more.
Yeah, I told him to come on stage, so he was having a hard time finding the link, I believe.
Okay, I put it back in there. So, because that BTMNMC27, whoever you are, you're welcome to come and voice your opinion. You know, don't be scared of us. We need voices. And look, if you guys are for Clark, if you guys are for this establishment, we want to hear from you too, because I mean, you are a voice in the community. As long as it's respectful, we don't mind you bringing your voice, and saying, hey, I mean, I would probably vehemently disagree with you, but I mean, hey, a conversation could be had nonetheless. I'm sure Foxy and Ryan would feel the same way.
Right, that's what we're
true. I would listen to you. I see where see what your point of view is. Where then I will ask you questions of how did you come to that conclusion, and see if you can bring me some facts.
Yeah, and who's your connection? Is this your cousin? I mean, hey, those things are important too. But anyway, please remember, certain people were not welcome to the Christmas dinner. Just to bring up, it was announced by an op. She was saying by an op, Ramona, which was in poor taste. Just bringing up the point that a person is, again, there was no credence. If somebody said something in a meeting, that person who got up and spoke that narrative again. You got people whose zeal is misdirected. They miss the whole point. The whole point is, while this mayor is at a Christmas party that's not even an official Christmas party, twerking and jerking with little women, we've got people who can't even afford to feed their families. And I think if anybody was worthy of meals and Christmas to be fed on Christmas, probably was that population. Just my opinion. What y'all think? So
exactly, and everybody who defends that dinner should be ashamed of themselves
and stop talking about it because
and that wasn't a good event. That was a harmful thing because you have a city in crisis. You created the crisis, and then you think you're going to distract by inviting a few seniors, many of whom are mentally challenged or in the last years of their life. They're vulnerable. And you're going to use them as pawns and to try to manipulate them to make you look better and to try to get their votes for the 2027 election. None of that's good. There's nothing about that that's good.
And plus, to me, it was poor taste because you were in a worship center, a church, and you got people cussing and twerking in the church.
I'm sorry, Foxy. Go ahead.
They were cussing and twerking in the church and talking about personal parts in the church.
Yeah,
and that part. This is supposed to be what you present to your city as a event that's upstanding to represent you as a mayor. But I digress.
And I think what you're saying, just to be clear, because we want to let the people know, is one of the ops who supposedly, allegedly was putting the thing together said that, that some of the seniors who come in there, would have to suck his scrotum sack or whatever he has.
Oh, you're right. I totally forgot about that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that alone is like super disrespectful
I would have never, if I was, any senior connected to me, I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Are you crazy? But this person BTMNCMC27 says the whole city council has to go. I think that's a debate that, people can make. I'm a block captain for the 6th ward and the mayor has missed the last 3 meetings. Yeah, we know that. And not only has he missed the last 3 meetings, but it's, I don't even know if he's coming into the office. So, it's just to that point. So that's why we do what we do, where are we at in real time? So let's talk a little bit about that. And then if you guys want within, the next 30 minutes, because we're not going to be long here, but I'm probably saying another 30 minutes, what we're talking about is we're talking about financial accountability and transparency, which hasn't happened in probably the better part of almost a decade. And, I don't think that anybody would doubt that there's a problem with transparency and being open, except for when it comes to this mayor, and if they think that they're not issues, when Randall L. stands there in the city council meeting and says 2026 is going to look great, I'm just wondering what planet is it Pluto, Mars? Is it one of them far off galaxies in the galaxy far, far away? Is it coming from? You know what I'm saying, Foxy? and
exactly. It kind of, you sit, it just every time I think about how beautiful, I did my research before I came in to even discuss anything with anybody. And I wanted to see what Harvey looked like before now. It was a beautiful city, for the size it was, and then to look at it now from then, my heart goes out because it's like, what happened? And then now you done closed up the Family Dollar, the Dollar General, closed up the pharmacy. You don't have a grocery store, but you're going to bring a pharmaceutical place there. You're going to bring a dispensary there and make money. And from what I'm hearing, it ain't even making money. So that was a waste of money. And so you got a dispensary here that's not making any income, any revenue. And then you got the places that can make the revenue. You don't have them there. People need medication. They need medical supplies. You got babies that need special kind of medicine. They got diapers, formulas. Different babies have different type of formulas that they take. Then you got seniors that need, medical stuff that they need that they sell in there. Blood pressure medication, all this stuff. But you can't get that out of a dispensary. A weed dispensary, you can't get that out of there. Then we got to go buy paper plates, paper cups, stuff like that. You can't get that out of the drug dispensary, weed dispensary. So you got the one thing that the city don't need.
You can get all those pot taxes going right into your pocket. That's what you can get for your politician.
Right. That's why I'm going to come around and say, Ron, you took the words out of my mouth. You're more concerned about your pockets than really the people in the city. And you're going out here, you bringing in something that you're going to bring in a weed. I mean, come on.
They love those pot taxes. Those pot taxes are very lucrative. That's why they like to open those.
And I got that. Don't get me wrong. I got that. It can make some fast money. We have, we have places like here in DC. But my thing is, there's other things that we have here in DC too. We do have a pharmacy. We do have drugstores. We do have a Family Dollars. We do have Dollar General. We got all of that. Even in as they call it, the hood of the city. They even have those stores in there. So that, so if you got the hoods got that, we got a pharmacy, we got a drugstore, we got a liquor store, we got all this, and you all are bigger than the hood, and y'all don't even have 4 of the 5 categories.
Well, here's the thing that people have to understand. This mayor claims to have done great for the city, according to the alderman of the 6th district. The optimism is high, and the city's, everything's looking beautiful, and so on and so forth. But
bullshit. Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Hey, come on, guys. BTMNC27 is here. Let's invite him on. Let's see what he has to say.
Get it out. Yay.
Hey, sir. Welcome. Hey, sir.
Welcome.
How we doing?
All right. How you doing?
Well, I've been listening to you guys, and I'm gonna state out a couple of things. One, I'm a block captain in the city meetings, and Clark has missed the last 3 meetings out there. The block captain meetings basically is just us handing out flyers to the neighbors in the neighborhood and half the time the information is semi-correct. I've lived in this town for 52 years, and I have seen a lot of things come and I've seen a lot of things go. I agree with you that we don't need the weed factory. I battled Clark on that one, and he was like, they're going to be paying taxes. So that was his argument about that.
I told you.
Don't care.
Money.
Don't care if that's the case. The point of the matter is that it's not something we need in this town. We need some retail. We need businesses. You close down the Family Dollars, the Dollar Trees with no explanation except cease and desist. You need to, I have a feeling more about that than a little bit. The one thing I will say was I was at the meeting this past Monday as well. I followed Ryan in the first half of the meeting, and we have all these new cameras going up in the neighborhoods. Okay. The question is are they working? When are they going to be working? Who do we call if we want to find, and why is it they're only in those spots? Okay. If they're hot spots, okay. If not, okay, that too. But you can't tell me that a camera is going to be able to bend around a curve, down an alley, and everything else to see what's going on in the neighborhood. Okay. The point I was trying to make on the email that I sent goes down like this. The talk about the budget and the audit that happened on The last meeting, we were there at like 5:30, give or take, started about 5:45. They said that the audit ran $110,000 to do the audit, but they don't have all the information for doing the audit. So then how can you charge anything if you don't have all the information that you're supposed to have going for that audit? The guy who was talking about it sounded like he had marshmallows in his mouth because he couldn't get all the story out about, we couldn't see it. You needed to have a degree in algebra to understand what he was trying to tell everybody. Then they brought in these two other guys who were in Calumet City. Ryan, what's their name again? Kasky, something like that.
Kasparic.
Thank you. They seemed like they were two actors just sitting there trying to explain what the whole 100 and 200 page audit was all about. And I think the one thing that I saw at the meeting, Colby was trying to make a point of, why are you spending $110,000 each year to do an audit? We should be looking for somebody cheaper or less expensive, however you want to look at it. My personal thing is about the cameras. Okay, when are they going to go into effect? I've known about them since October, and I've told everybody that I know in my neighborhood about them, that they were coming. And, when are they going to be working? And if you look at some of them, if you drive around the neighborhood and you see where they're at 146th, 145th and Des Plaines, 147th and Sibley and Calumet and Halstead, you'll look at them and you'll be like, okay, what are they going to be watching? Okay. Who are we supposed, if we don't have a police force, who are we going to be calling if there's something to be seen on the cameras?
Well,
who's watching the cameras?
I don't trust those cameras. I think I shared the video. I should share it again though. They're really creepy. If they can follow you.
Okay, me being a former dispatcher, who's monitoring those cameras? You gotta have somebody that's watching those CCTVs. They call CCTV monitors. Somebody gotta be monitoring.
He's sitting at his house because it's all connected to your phone. He's sitting at his house online. This is how obsessed he is, and he's watching. He's like, oh, look at this is where Ryan went. Oh, what was he doing? Like he is a creep, because they found these flock cameras they're all connected to the internet. They can track your license plate, your face, facial recognition, your car, the shape of your car, the type of. It's like creepy, but he's paranoid. I'm telling you, Chris.
So let's not, Ryan. Let me jump in right there. So let's be 100% transparent. These cameras are not being used for community safety. We've shown those in videos. I mean, again, it's one that's on the mayor's house. The other one that was on Hassan's compound this summer was moved, and that was moved to the mayor's political opponent, the supervisor, Napoleon Hill, his quote unquote Harvey residence, that same block, which is a dead end street with about 12 townhomes on that block. And I mean, there would be several places, including the metro station, which is right around the corner, which that camera might even be used for. But I'm saying, we know that this is all political corruption at best. So, this is all from, I cannot. We got to be clear about this, BT.
Let me throw something in there.
Look at Crook's comment. Sorry, go ahead. But Crook got it too. He knows what's going on.
We had one meeting, the first meeting we had for the block captains meeting. We were told that the Metro project was done. Okay, the Metro project is not done. If you've ridden down Sibley, you see the parts of the train tracks. You got one side with lights. You got one side with an ice patch that's always flooded. You have one side where the fence is knocked down and a side with no lights on it. And yet that's supposed to be considered done. So what I was told was it belongs to three different entities. It belongs to Metro, it belongs to Canadian National, and it belongs to IDOT. Harvey has nothing to do with it. Well, how are we supposed to know what Harvey does have to do with and doesn't have to do with if we don't go to these people and question it and answer it and all that sort of thing. You get my point?
Yeah. So that's the question marks that are in the sky, and this mayor has to be held accountable. And if you ask that question in the city council meeting, which I think you did, did you speak while you were there? You did speak, right?
Yeah, I followed Ryan.
And you spoke about the you spoke about the train, the metro station, and the fencing that was down, because on one side of the damn metro station is something that we went and we reviewed over the summer. I mean, it's something that they could have fought to fix with about a staff of 3 people for about an hour or two just to clean up. It's a fence that's on the sidewalk of the metro station that basically covers up the sidewalk to whereas if you're a senior or somebody in a wheelchair, you can't even pass because it's pufferage there. It's a fence that's been hanging down. I mean, you know, how many thousands of dollars did they get for this metro project, and why is it that the city did not have the wherewithal, somebody to go across and take 2 hours to fix that shit up?
It's not hard. It just takes the will to do it. Because I'll tell you, if you can take all the money and effort to make sure that you have police manning outside 2 properties that you own 24/7. I mean, that takes a lot of money, coordination, personnel. If you can do that, you can do other things too.
So, guys, let's say that we already know that, you know, basically the leadership is not the leadership. But what I want to do is and while we're here together, and we have, you know, a lot of the community who are, if they're not here, they're going to watch this. I want to talk about mission and conflict of interest and a couple of the sort of characters for the next 30 minutes, and then I think we'll be good. So let's talk about one of the favorite individuals that, you know, I think we all know and love so well, Patrick Walsh. Let's talk about him. I want to share something, okay? I want to share a screen, and if you guys are just joining, you know, come on in and talk about, you know, we are exposing corruption in Harvey. I just want to be very clear. This is not an indictment of anyone with falsities or anything. This is these officials who are on the ground, who have participated in undermining this community, like probably one of the worst and most corrupt communities, municipalities probably in the country. Worse than Dalton, worse than Tiffany, Hilliard, and Dalton is Harvey, Illinois. I mean, honestly, this makes Tiffany look like a diplomat. I'm just saying. So,
right, absolutely.
Here's what we got. Let's talk about conflict of interest. When we talk about conflict of interest, can you guys see this? I'm going to add it to my screen. I'm going to stop sharing. I'm going to add this because what information, BT? What information? What do you like to be referred as? By the way, I just want to get you coded right. What do you like to be called?
You can go by MC. That's fine.
MC. Okay, MC. We'll go by that. MC. So let's talk about this particular. I don't think it'll come up. It's not coming up. Let me try it another way.
While you're doing that, I wanted to point out, because I agree with Crook, where Crook said Clark's watching his dope spot, making sure his money's right, and monitoring his stash house. And I said, bingo, Crook knows what's going on. He's using those cameras all right, but it's not for what you or I would think it'd be for. He's using it for something.
That's a rough one, guys. But I will say, okay, now we're good. So
that's his high MC.
Let's talk about this sort of character here, just for those who.
I recognize him from Harvey Extortion Court. Oh, I've seen that face so many times.
So, for those who don't know, this is the city attorney, Patrick Walsh. Mr. Walsh is currently being investigated by the ARDP. For those who don't know, it's the State of Illinois Supreme Court Attorney Licensing Commission, and the investigation is based upon the incident from July 14th. But there are other ongoing investigations. And by the way, if you guys are a lawyer and you want to do some contingency work, Harvey, come reach out to us, because Harvey is the place.
Yeah,
we need you, but this city attorney has had a lot of conflicts of interest, and basically, what date did we have court, Ryan? I wanted to explain that. What was that? Was September or was it August? What, August 12th?
August 22nd, I think.
August 22nd. Okay, I believe. Okay, so August 22nd. And this is not indicative. This is not, but what you saw on that day, what I saw, because I saw a line of people around the corner who had traffic tickets that were minor infractions, but we're talking to the tune of hundreds of dollars. So if you went in, you would see this individual, Patrick Walsh, this individual's face, and he would be the one who there would be no due process. There would be no seeing a judge. There's a sitting judge who's sitting there on the bench, but this person would decide everything and rush you to get your checkbook out or your money order out or your credit card or debit card out, and you would pay your fine and be done. And basically there's no due process. There's no, hey, we didn't do it, or so on and so forth. That's not the conversation, because it wouldn't be allowed to happen. So conflict of interest is understatement with this person. And, the biggest scandal that we know of to date with Mr. Patrick Walsh, let me pull up his face again, is, he worked in the law department with Mayor Clark in Calumet City. Clark was terminated for some unknown reason, just so you guys know. But Mr. Walsh had charged residents. He participated in a shakedown with the police in charging residents $1,500 to $2,500 toll fees, to where they would stop cars for minor infractions, and these citizens would be given $1,500 to $2,500 or even more to get their car out of the pound after being ticketed and tolled for minor infractions. I mean, unheard of, crazy, but it's the facts. What do you guys have to say?
Oh, and don't forget that he was used as the lawyer to go after Colby Chapman when.
Yeah, I'll get ready to say that. You took that right out of my mouth. Yep, he was the one you went after Colby Chapman. I'll get ready to say that. And that's what I was talking about earlier, where I said I've been doing my research. I've been gone for a while, but I've been doing my research. This was one that came up on my feed that I found out about, and I investigated into it.
Oh, and I see Amir has it up. That's exactly.
Yeah. This comes in as tensions between Clark and Chapman are growing. This is back in last summer. Clark introduced an ordinance in February reestablishing the city's standing communities after several older persons resigned. The older persons were reshuffled to other committee assignments. But for some reason, Colby was investigated by this particular, not just this city attorney, but also Chief Bidings, who's the police chief. Somebody who we really haven't drilled down, but we will drill him down, and the associate chief, Derek Charles, in the near future. When I say the near future, we're talking the next 2 weeks. The mayor, whose personal relationship with the city attorney Walsh has been used, inefficiently and incorrectly, a lot of ways to investigate political opponents. Unfair investigations on residents. Again, no due process, and I'm not sure how many ARDC or the Attorney Licensing Board complaints that Walsh has, but I believe that he's probably had a lot. But we are looking for, when I say actionable, we're looking forward to the future. Let me pull this picture back up to whereas we can go ahead and solicit the community to get other information, because we know that it's still going on. And this guy is just pretty much, he's the money maker for the city. And the ethics are through, not even through the roof, but probably up into the heavens at this point.
Let me throw a story out there to you guys. The Wednesday before Thanksgiving, they were supposed to have court at the municipal building. I went up there because I thought we were. I went up there the Monday before that because I thought we were having a committee meeting that got canceled. And I met a Hispanic family from the first ward, and they had 3 tickets and increments of $500 a piece that was being handed out to them for illegal dumping, illegal crabgrass in their yards. And they showed me the yard and the picture that they had. And it wasn't even their yard, but they were giving those people a $1,500 fine. So I do believe that there's going to be some illegal tickets being passed out. Now we can pick up the city stickers. I mean, I know this is getting a little away from the main subject here a little bit, but now that we can pick up the main stickers, are they going to extend us time because we didn't get them in December? Are they going to extend us time to get the stickers? An extra month or extra 2 weeks or whatever the case might be, because they always, because I even asked in one of the meetings as a block captain, could we get the senior rate for the stickers for being on this committee? And I was flatly told out no. So
of course, they would never do that. But notice, throughout this whole crisis, notice who's still getting paid. The mayor,
right.
All of his overpaid staff, department
Guarantee
heads.
Patrick Walsh ain't missed a check.
No.
I can guarantee that.
Going back to the court issue, they showed up on Monday, and then I don't know if the court on before Thanksgiving got canceled or not. I wasn't there for that, but they gave me they showed me the paperwork and everything out of it. And it's going back down to what you're talking about as far as what they were doing in Calumet City and everything. So that's what made me bring this part of it up. Now, whether or not they, had to pay it, did pay it, didn't pay it, it's just that it was an annoying fact that the city is trying so hard to put out for money, get money any kind of way they can, that they would just do that to somebody.
Speaking of that, so, again, I want to make this actionable for everyone who's been a part of this. I'm going to pull out. But if you guys, before I pull down Mr. Walsh's, this week, what we have coming up, and I haven't announced it globally. Ryan, I haven't even announced to some of our internal people at the Thornton Township Citizens Action Committee or some of our collaborative organizations. But if anybody has any information on this city attorney and wants to come forward and participate, we are looking for information and an actionable move about where we go from here. All right. Definitely if you have any information and you've been told illegally by these folks for minor traffic violations, we want to be able to get enough people together. And I know that when we put the information out this summer, there were probably, I think that whole post, it was a Facebook post, it was like 18,000 people who came forward. So this is not a small thing, y'all. This is happening on a frequent basis. Let's go to some of the comments while y'all are addressing this. Beth, some people had traffic fines in August, but their vehicles were towed and tow fees starting at, well, it wasn't just $1,000. It was way more than that. If it was $1,000, then I would have been surprised because that would have been the minimal. Crook said, are we talking about Cicero or Harvey? Unfortunately, we're talking about Harvey. Mr. Chris Moore, Kobe Chapman was a distraction and she allowed herself to be for notoriety and clickbait. She was complicit in stopping people of the city of Harvey from seeing clearly that they were financial issues to blindside them. Chris, that's definitely a different aspect of what we've heard. Brother, I would love for you to come on and share. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna put the link right there, and you're welcome to your perspective, because that's something that I haven't heard too much about. I mean, have you guys heard anything like that?
Nope.
Okay.
Well, I was going to say you can always count on Mr. Moore to he'll give you a little controversial opinion.
Yeah, I will say that I like Chris's spirit, and I do like the fact that I saw some of the things that he was doing and what he's done, and I mean, he's definitely invested in the community, and we can't take that away from him. Harvey approves redevelopment agreement with LLC associated with attorney. Go ahead and explain that, Foxy.
Well, what it is, they're saying that in 2026, which we are in now, that they're supposed to bring this housing development into the city and remove some houses. So some of the seniors are going to be moved this year. So they bring it, it basically, as Ryan always say, they land grabbing. They're doing a lot of land grabbing, and the mayor is part of, and he's part of them bringing LLC in here. From what I'm seeing, and a person by the name of Rucker said he was going to give $350,000 at one of the meetings, and if they didn't agree to it right then and there, he was going to walk back out the door with the money. So basically, he kind of blackmailing them either to give me the land or I'm gonna walk away, with my money. And then, he did obtain $150 in credit for the project and underwent the city financial verification. Okay, see, these are things that the board is not learning about until these people walk in the door. So I'm like, when do you talk to your board? When do you vote for this stuff before you just come in and say, this is what's going to happen?
Well, let's not act like this thing is operationally sound and that these people are doing what the hell they're supposed to do, because they're not. So when you don't do it is when you're trying to hide and you're trying to manipulate and extort money. That's when you don't talk to your board and you don't let anybody know, including the community. So, we're going to call a spade a spade. We're going to call a duck a duck at this point. Crook said, get more. Listen, if Chris wants to come on, he's welcome. I shared it in the link. I would love to hear his perspective. I think he has a unique perspective about things. And someone else said, let him talk. So people want to hear what you have to say, Chris. So if you want to come on board, brother. I mean, you have an open invitation, and we'd like to hear it. And, we'd like to hear as much of it as possible. That's what it is. I will say, guys, and MC, have you heard this? Did you hear about this new development? And guys, help me out with the name of the company that got this land contract. What is the name of what is their name?
I think it was Turlington Homes.
Turlington Homes. So supposedly it's building $200,000 houses in Harvey. And they got a contract to do
That's what they say. So, but who knows what they're going to do?
No. So here's the thing, Ryan. If they're saying that they're building $200,000 in Harvey, let's take their word at face value, because first of all, anyone with common enough sense, and even you being in real estate, for a fact that how the hell is that going to work in a distressed red light community which has squalor and abandon? Who would go to Harvey and pay $200,000 at this point for a home? It just doesn't make physical, logistical, or even common sense at this point. Y'all, if y'all beg to differ, hey, you're entitled, but I just can't see it.
I'm sorry, I would not. Okay, first of all, you don't have anything there for me to invest into a house at that price. You don't have a pharmacy. You don't have a grocery store. You don't have
no infrastructure there.
Right. So why would I put my money and go and buy a house when we don't have the necessities that we need, no infrastructure that we need there to survive? I'm not gonna put a whole bunch of money into the almost a half a $500,000 home, or a third of a, 3/4 of a, $250,000, $200,000 or $300,000 home, and I can't even go to the corner store and get a bag of bread without having to go to one of the gas stations or something to get some food, or go to another city. There's no infrastructure there, and then I moved there, and you close up some more, places. Why would I want to come there when I'm looking at you closing doors and boarding up stuff, and it looks the way it does? Who's gonna come in there and put that much money into a house?
I mean, to be honest with you, Fox, and MC, I just want to know what you think. I really want to hear from you. What do you guys think? I mean, Harvey needs a cooperative, some kind of cooperative development. If it's not a seniors home, it would be a cooperative home that they can do, kind of like what we saw downtown. But that has to be repeated because you need, if you don't have infrastructure, then what are you going to have to attract people? There's no mall. There's no, there's no Dixie Sibley Plaza. There's nothing there to attract people. So you need some kind of cooperative development, and Turlington Homes ain't it. So whoever put that together was either not thinking or they were, I don't know. I mean, it's definitely got to be a payout and some palms greased, and it's a scam at best, in my opinion.
Well, but remember, even if it were legit, it should be revoked because it wasn't done correctly, and we know that company is connected to companies that have a bad reputation for doing things incorrectly. They're connected to Jedediah. They're just scammers. So even if they came up with a legit project, I still would say no. I'd say don't give it.
You just call his name. We call him op number one, but I mean, hey, just for purposes of illustration.
I don't want to have anything to do with that Turlington Homes LLC or any of those people.
So we need to expose that. One of the things that has to be actionable, we need to expose that if it's an injunction, if it's going through the courts and having the city open up records, because think about it like this, guys. If they are dealing, and this is all public, then the public should have all of the information in order to make the necessary decisions. That shouldn't be one person making the decision for the whole community based upon what? We don't have the information. So they literally have to. So I would probably suggest that we have to go through the courts and get them to open up that information, because I don't think that we would have a problem doing that. What do you guys think?
Well, let me make a point here.
I say do it. Get it.
Well,
said that they voted on it and there was no price. How could you vote if there's no price? So basically what we gave away, all those parcels to that LLC, we don't even know.
I mean, whose palms got greased, guys? Who made the decision? And this is the thing maybe that I would probably beg to differ with everybody on the city council is that, how do these things happen without everyone's approval, everyone's commitment, and everyone's understanding? How does this super shit go forward? Did you say something, MC?
Yeah, let me point out something. Okay, let me say it this way. They tore down Field School about a year or so ago. Okay. Ryan, I think you told me a dollar number that they used to tear that down. Okay. Field School was not an eyesore. Okay. And I also happen to have gone to that school as a kid. So I lived here for 52 years. So I've gone to majority of the schools and everything around here. But anyhow, that school could have been used for multiple different purposes as a meeting place or anything else. So whatever money they spent to tear that down, but they still leave up all these other wrecks that have been firebombed or whatever. There's a place on Halsted right across from the Wooden Keg that's been it's a wreck, and it's been burnt down now for almost 10 years, and it still hasn't moved anywhere. There's other wrecks you could go down some of these streets, go down Washington, you could take out a whole street block because the houses are that dilapidated and they need to be repaired or done something too. But the idea, my point is that if you tear down and leave an open land, people will buy the open land and build something on it. Mm-hmm. If you're going to have these wrecks all over the place,
well,
they're going to be like, well, we'll go someplace else and build where we have open land.
Well,
okay.
Remember, there are a lot of investors too, though, and contractors that would love to fix up a lot of the old buildings, but the city won't. the city makes it really difficult. Either they won't sell to them, or like the permit fees and everything, inspections. Like, it's so crazy. Like, I know this one lady, I ran into her at Harvey extortion court, I call it, housing court. And I was like, "Oh, how are you, ma'am?" Because she's like, older lady. "How are you doing? How's that building going?" She is trying to redo a building, a residential building in downtown Harvey, beautiful brick building. I'm sorry, not far from the downtown. And the city has been making her life hell. Why? She wants to fix up a building. This is what I'm saying. I see this all the time. It makes no frigging sense. Even if you want to be corrupt, why don't you be corrupt in a smart way? Let people build things up so you get more revenue, and then take some of the money. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, I feel like they're not even corrupt in a smart way. Like,
well, isn't that what Tiffany did with that lady in Dalton? Remember, she gave her hell through the whole time until Tiffany finally left. For the lady finally got her business really going now. Remember, I can't think of the name of the place, but she, remember, she had to fight with Tiffany to try to get her business going. And finally, once Tiffany left, she was able to get started with her business. But so that's the same thing they're doing here. That's why I said a lot of things. We were so busy looking at what Tiffany doing, because she was so blatantly out there for the world to see, that Harvey was doing the same thing, but doing it undercover. So, now that Tiffany's out of the way, the cover is no longer, covering up. Now we're seeing what he's doing, and now we see where she got all those ideas from that she was trying to do in Dalton. The only difference between Dalton and Harvey, to me, is that Tiffany had a fight because the trustees there had a lawyer that backed them up to fight against her and her lawyer at the time. You all don't have but one lawyer that's on the mayor's side, not on the alderman's side, and you got 4 aldermen that's on his side for whatever reason.
We just need 2, but the pressure is mounting. Clark's in hiding. So now I'm like, all right, alderman, we just need 2 more votes.
So there's more than that's going on, and I just want to be clear too that with Dalton and Harvey, I don't want to get lost in the narrative. I want to get back to what Chris said right here, but you do have, and you have industry there in Dalton. You have seniors who have been homeowners who have frequented the community and care about the community. You have a living and alive infrastructure there. You don't have that in Harvey. So, I mean, if I were a corrupt politician, Dalton would be more attractive because I could take and get lost in the shuffle, to where you do it in Harvey and it's more obvious. So that's why if I were a crook, I would keep the books closed. So while I'm stealing, it would get lost, right? The accountability would be more obvious if I were stealing. So Chris Moore said the type of palms that have been greased will prevent any clarity in courts of law. Hey, Chris, you know what? I think that is, hey, it might be a statement of fact, but, we don't know until we go there. I mean, to be honest with you, I mean, in Cook County, I will tell you this, and you know very well, Chris, that if a public official is going to be tried, going back to Chicago history, it's going to be in Cook County. I mean, Operation Silver Shovel, Verdoliak, Ed Burke, more recently, like 2 years ago. I mean, and Ed had been out there for many, many years greasing palms and fake scam deals and all of that. But he finally got caught up by the feds after they had watched him for years. So, to the point of, just out of from what I know, I mean, it's gonna come. It's gonna come. The school district is separated from city government, is what Chris said. To
Right.
somebody's point.
It is separate, but still, I was going to say that too. But the same idea, because all the boards are working together.
Bryant said that it also includes a dysfunctional school district. Yeah, I mean,
yes.
Tiffany did streets, alleyways, lights. She didn't have to lay off anybody. he couldn't cut off lights until he let out 40% of the workforce. There's no comparison. Right. I mean, I agree. There is no comparison because, again, you had active infrastructure in Dalton. You don't have that in Harvey. You don't have anything in Harvey that's tangible. So, I mean, again, if you want to take something, you got to close up the books, and you close them up for as long as you can, because then you can, it's a free for all at that point, until you get caught up, and then at that point, it's probably, several years down the line, and you think you can move on with your life, but unfortunately, it ain't going to happen that way. So that's it.
Right. You just Clark.
That's why I say you got to follow the money.
Yeah. Well, and Clark and his buddies, they just think that they're going to sell off Harvey for parts, and then I guess move. Maybe he's going to go to Arizona, wherever his mom is, and then just leave the rest of us with a city that's like
a bill of some sorts.
Right. It's like, no, dude, you're not going to get away with that.
Okay, so guys, this is my last thing, and then we can open it up for public consumption. But this is my last thing. I really want to address this gentleman right here. This is Chief Bidings, and does anybody have any dealings with Mr. Bidings? And I know that he was Cameron Bidings was resigned or fired mysteriously from Dalton, Illinois, or Calumet City, wanted it to, and nobody really knows what happened with that. It's been a big secret. So, there's been scandal with Chief Bidings, and it's been ongoing. But does anybody, even in the chat, does anybody have any information from the standpoint of Chief Bidings?
He came from Dalton. He was fired from Dalton.
Okay.
They brought him over from Dalton. After the last chief, they was trying to get the other chief to do his bidding, and that chief wouldn't do it, the one that sued him. So that's when he brought him over from Dalton.
Yeah, but he wasn't a chief in Dalton. He was a regular patrolman.
He was a regular officer. He wasn't a chief there. He was just a regular officer.
Just a regular patrolman. So for him to get promoted to from a regular patrolman to one of the biggest cities and problematic cities in the area, for me, is just straight suspect. You know what I mean? So he's definitely a legitimate target.
He was supposed to be in that other chief that sued him, that sued Harvey. He's supposed to be working under him. Like his you got your chief of police and then you got your assistant chief. He's supposed to be his assistant chief, and the chief of police would not hire him. That was the 411. He said he didn't feel that he was capable of being the chief, assistant chief of police for Harvey. So that's when he fired him, because he said him and three other officers he wanted to promote into lieutenants, and he said he did not feel that they were capable of those jobs. So that's when Clark fired him, and that's when he hired this guy as the chief.
Well, someone, please let Mr. Biding know that we are coming for him and I think we've already thrown down the gauntlet with him and his jugular vein, because here's the thing, he's not above, the corruption has, again, with the tolls, with the, the police brutality that's happened, with the fake and false arrest. And Ryan and I could attest that we've talked to the law enforcement apparatus in the state about this police force, and we've had a long ongoing conversation about the things that they did wrong. And it was a Ryan, you can say it, but I believe it was a pretty transparent conversation that they just weren't doing anything right, especially in the situation with Colby Chapman, and that's why they couldn't get a prosecution, because it's a political prosecution. It was a political arrest, but that's from a sitting official who's known. What about the little guy who, basically has a criminal record, and they've gone after this guy to try to make a point, and he has no recourse? What about those people? You know, those are the people who we gotta advocate for, but we don't know how many times it's happened with this particular team, you know. And if we say corruption and dirty, I mean, you know, if Clark was on page 1 in the dictionary of it, Chief Biden and Patrick would be 2 and 3.
Well, first of all, this one right here, I have a problem with him. I think I left him about 3 messages on his answer service. And I told him, I say, you supposed to carry it. You supposed to have an oath. I left him a message and I let him know who I was and where I was from. And I told him, you know, I'm observing you. And I say, you swore an oath. And I said, you're not doing it. And I said, you know, as a fellow officer, you know, you supposed to, you know, when you do that oath, you supposed to, you know, abide by that oath. And, you know, you have qualified immunity. You don't have total immunity. You have qualified immunity. So you still going to have to stand up to, you know. So, you know, I don't know. I think he got total immunity, like the ICE agents, but he don't. You got qualified immunity. You can still go down just like any other officer.
Well, here's my thing, guys. I mean,
But Clark appointed him, so that's the problem. Is Clark was the one that appointed him.
Right, because all the other chiefs kept having a conscience and trying to do the right thing, and Clark just couldn't take that. He kept firing them.
Right, that's why I said he was the one that supposed to be his assistant chief of police. And when the other chief said he wasn't going to hire him and 3 other officers, promote them to be lieutenants, that's when he got rid of that chief. When he got rid of that chief, that's when he made him chief of police. He appointed him chief of police and promoted those 3 guys as lieutenants. That's how that went down. I did my research. Take my word for it.
The dog chief that was sued was Collins. Crook said Dalton Knight. I don't know what that means. This is some good information from Chris Moore. Let's drill this down, y'all. He responded well to public pressure. He did get himself certified, and crime is down in the city of Harvey. Let's not forget he is appointed public official. When Chris Clark leaves, he's going to leave. He does a decent job, unless he has integrity, like the former chief Gregory Thomas, who went from chief down to part-time patrolman, being faithful to the people of Harvey. God bless him. Made him chief of Linwood. Hey, Chris, listen, this is where you and I have to. I think we're doing good up until this point, but I'm gonna seriously say that I have sat across the table from this chief, and I know for a fact that he has been used to harass citizens. He has been used to abuse his authority, including in the arrest of Colby Chapman, which, you know, I know you may not appreciate or have that level of respect, but this police chief is not above reproach, and he's part of the problem. And yes, I do agree with you, Chris, that he will leave when when Clark leaves, because no one else would have had an inexperienced chief. And again, he's part of the problem. So
absolutely, yeah.
And look, and also he's also the same one that drove the llama ops vehicle to the police station.
On July 14th.
Right, and you don't do that. Yeah, you don't do that. No, when you arrest somebody, their vehicles are towed. You don't personally drive that vehicle. If anything had happened to that person's vehicle, that was a big lawsuit for Harvey. If somebody came by and hit that vehicle, he would have been in trouble, because he was in charge of that vehicle because he was driving that vehicle. So what police chief do you know is going to get behind the wheel of somebody's vehicle instead of having it towed like everybody else in the city?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, well, I didn't know that he personally did it, Foxy, but I will say that we do know that the police did drive these ops vehicles. And let's keep in mind, just for public information, this is after they committed a mob action. This is after they ran and fled from the police twice. This is after all of that. They were given concierge service while they sat in. They didn't even go in lockup. They sat outside of lockup, and we have the video. And I mean, you know, basically they waited for a few hours. They weren't even correctly processed. So again, Chris, when you say that this police chief is above, he's not, brother. He's not. But I would love to have that conversation with you, you know, because you see something redeemable in the chief.
He'll debate with you if you let him.
Crook said I had a run in with this guy. Him and Lacey tied my car. Oh, they tied your car, meaning 4 years ago. It was 4 years ago.
Yeah, I think he meant towed, I'm guessing.
Derek Bryan said, as an officer, he's a suburban bump around, meaning he goes to Dalton, then Lansing, Harvey, Dixmoor, always in the same circles. Well, cronyism, Derek, does exist. So, you know, we know how a lot of people get their jobs. Hey, how you doing? No apologies. The auxiliary. See, that's what I thought, Diana. The auxiliary police did drive that car away. But just so you know, Foxy, this chief act like he wasn't in the know. And my challenge to him, listen, I sat down and talked to him directly. I said, as much payroll as you had out there on July 14th with all of this, can you tell me why these people, including one who had a murder record, keep in mind, y'all didn't know that. If y'all didn't know that, one of these offenders has had a legitimate bona fide murder record. He didn't qualify for an I-bond. How did he get an I-bond? And the chief couldn't tell me a damn thing. Come on now.
Right. Wow. Yeah, he said, right, I remember that. He said, oh, I don't really know, or I don't really recall, or like, it was like, get out of here.
Chris, he does work for Clark. He is following orders, but the thing is that Clark is an official, but this person, this police chief is certified to a whole nother board in the state of Illinois, and the police board has its own accountability. And believe it or not, that, you know, he can be prosecuted, and he can't use Clark as a scapegoat, because I guarantee you, when the feds come, all these guys are going to be pointing fingers at each other, and there is no honor amongst liars and thieves, brother.
Right. I hope they all turn each other in. Although I do want to say publicly to come forward now, guys. If you're the one that goes to the feds, you might be able to cut a deal. But if you all wait till the last minute, you're going to miss out. Now's your time.
Hold on 1 second. Diana, do you want to come on and just say a couple of things? We're gonna be wrapping up, but I just wanna know if you want to come on. Let me give you the link if you don't have it, and then I want to talk about where we go from here and actionable steps, and then we can get off of here. But let me know if you want to come on. I'll share the link with you, yeah, your channel and all of that good stuff, and you know, everybody's channel, Foxy's, Ryan's. MC, you got a channel? Are you a YouTuber though?
No, I'm not.
Okay, you should be. Hold on 1 second.
Yeah, maybe you can join the club, huh?
Crook said that he was referred. Hey Chris, was chief referred by Tiffany to Clark? Go ahead, Foxy. That was a question.
Could be.
No, Cook. No, Tiffany did not refer him to Harvey. Clark. He did not. I know that much. He was. Tiffany did not refer him. Tiffany was gone by that time. That's why he left. I was going to say, you know, we got. Oh, hi, Diana. What I wanted to say is, right now, this is the year 2026. Get out here, go door to door. Please, people, if you want to change, you want to get him out of office, go door to door. This is the time. Go in. Look, don't just stay in your ward. Go in everybody's ward. Go from ward to ward, and just keep on it. If you want Kobe in office, go door to door. This is the time to do it. Don't wait till the last minute. Start now. Go door to door. And those that, you know, don't want to talk to you at that time, you know, write their names down, their address, and keep going. And then go back to them and see what it is that they don't like, or, you know, or the reason why you can't refer them from Clark to her, and see what, you know, what can you do to change their mind. This is the time to do it. You got a whole year to do it. A whole year, people. So let's do this, because, you know, next year in January, that's when y'all vote, right? Ryan, ain't that when y'all vote?
I think it's, oh Lord, I know I gotta look at the exact date. I think it's February primaries, April general, I want to say.
Yeah, 27. We're on the odd year.
Okay,
So-
yeah. But yeah, definitely. And we
So
need
this
people
is a good time. MC, this is your MC. This is your time too to get out here. You're a block captain. Talk to your people to get them to vote him out too. That's the only way you're going to get him out of there is by voting. And we can complain all we want to.
And we have a lot of different positions. So like I'm running for second ward alderman because Colby is in that seat now, so she's running for mayor. But we need people to run for all the other wards. We need good people to run for city clerk, to run for city treasurer. Well, actually, I don't know if the current treasurer's running again. But then there's school boards, there's parks, there's what am I forgetting? Library. So like we really, really, really need everybody to get involved. Please, 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 please. Please don't have a lack, a mentality, a mindset of like, there's only so many positions, blah, 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 blah. No, we never get enough people running. We have so many positions that need to be filled. And because people don't run, we get the same horrible, ignorant, corrupt people over and over again.
Derek made a comment, and then we're going to go to Crook's comment. And thank you for Foxy and Ryan and MC. Thank you for that. Yeah, the elections are very important, and we cannot underestimate the power of the election and what it is, especially in these small cities. I do want to say, let's read this statement from Chris Moore, and we are waiting on Diana. She just was going to come on in a second to kind of wrap it up with us. The people in the city of Harvey had every opportunity to make the right choice in the 2023 election. They chose not to come to the polls, and they chose not to vote for Anthony McCaskill, who was bringing them a chief that they knew was good for the people of Harvey. They said they didn't trust anyone who would work for free like Anthony McCaskill. Now they're being taken to the bank, literally, figuratively, under the Clark administration. You get what you pay for, people. I'm not an elected official. I've ran campaigns. At one point, I was heavily engaged in a Democratic Party. I was a third-party chair of a Democratic Party, county party, in my history. So the political process is not unknown to me. I've worked presidential campaigns, at least 3 in my life. One is a major presidential campaign, which I was asked to work. So, the political process is not unknown to me. But I will say one thing, Chris, and everyone else who's listening. If people are worn down, if they are inundated with a bunch of cluck, for lack of a better use of the word, then they're tired. They're not concerned about who's in office because they feel like they're going to get screwed over by who's ever in the office. And I think that's where we come to a city like Harvey, until you get someone to enlighten them and wake them up and show them something better. They're not going to give a damn in most cases. And then, the fact that, it's highly transient. It's a transient community. It's not like Dalton, to where you have homeowners who give a damn. It's highly transient. You got people coming in and out of the city in those doors all the time, who just, there's no vested interest. So, when you have a slate, they're likely to get their cousin in, or, the cronyism is real. So that's why, you have what you have. So, Chris, I get you, but, I want you to, I love your perspective on a lot of things. And I think you have a vested interest in the community. So I definitely wish, you in the future that you would bring a conversation. He says that Kobe will flush the parts that haven't gone down the toilet in Harvey. Yeah, we know that you're not a Kobe fan, Chris. Obviously you made that known. And, Chris, who do you believe you would elect if the election were this week? Who would you elect for mayor? Can you tell us that? I'm just curious. And while we're waiting on Chris to answer that, Crook, what did you have? Run for change is all to it. I agree. Run for change. Where's the link? Here's the link, Diana. Let me post the link. And while we're waiting on you to come, can I just wanted last minute conversation pieces about actionable things that we're doing. So let's bring it full circle while we're waiting on Diana. The grocery store or the dollar store issue I think is coming to an end. I'm not saying it's because of the pressure that we put on the dollar stores, but I think it was a collaborative effort, which included our pressure. And tomorrow there'll be a link going out to the corporate team of the dollar stores. They've already been communicated to. I believe, Ryan, you communicated to them. I know others have talked to them, but we want to keep these dollar stores in the community because we don't have legitimate grocery stores or legitimate malls. So this is the closest thing that we have. So we want to keep these dollar stores up and running. So the narrative to the corporation is, listen, public pressure is with you. The public awareness is with you. And if there's an ethical dilemma, we would hope that you would get rid of it rather sooner than later. And, the closing down the doors because of some ethical problem for us, is not acceptable. So we want you guys to get some wherewithal, get some strength behind you, because you're a almost $1 billion corporation. There's no reason why you're giving the pressure from a corrupt administration. That's what I say.
Right. And we've already had so many businesses have already left. We can't afford to have any more being chased out of town.
Look, Chris said he said more for the people. He said he would be running himself for the mayor, y'all. That's what Chris said, right? Is that what you said? And then he said Anthony McCaskill is my second choice. So there you go. Yeah.
Nope.
Hey,
let me make a point about that.
Everybody has an opportunity and a crack at it, but
but I don't have, I have no vote in the system, so I can't help y'all out with the vote. But that would be one of the no's.
Hey, Chris has done some work though. I wouldn't take him.
I'm not talking about Chris. I'm talking about he's talking about Anthony.
McCaskill.
No.
Let y'all have the political conversation.
That one right there. My thing is, you jumping out of the skillet into the fire, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Because both him and Clark both got an attitude problem, and they don't know how to talk to people. They talk at people, and I have an issue with that.
And let's not underestimate the people who have shown leadership in the community. And I will say that Kobe Chapman has paid and sacrificed for the city of Harvey. Like, you can't take that away from her. She's paid for it with her freedom. She's gone to jail a number of times. Folks like Ryan. That's why I believe that these folks are brave, and they stood out before anybody else would stand out to the tyranny, and they kept their voice strong. So that's what I know. And we won't take that away, and we want to keep letting people know, the ultimate sacrifice is, something that Dr. King did. When you go to jail for what you believe, rather right, wrong, or indifferent, for me, that makes you a different caliber person.
Right, and she was standing up for her freedom of speech, and she even addressed the board the proper way. She didn't just start talking out. She addressed the board. He kept telling her no, she couldn't talk. That's not how you address the meeting. That was illegal. So that's the problem I have with that. And then because she didn't, you want to arrest her? No. And that's the problem I have. You can say what you want to say, or other people can say what they want to say. But when she says something, she can arrest her. But that's just a fear tactic to me. That's an intimidation fear tactic to me. If I was on that board, me and her both be going out that door together. You're going to have to arrest both of us because I'm going to back her up.
And let's not forget her mom went to jail as well.
Right is right and wrong is wrong.
But again, her mom went to jail. So
I'd be like, put my money on the book.
It just wasn't her, y'all.
Right, her mom was going out, and the thing is, right now, if all the people, if y'all could go door to door and get enough people to go out there and protest, they can't arrest everybody, because right now this is the best time because they ain't got no police officers.
Well, they do. It's from the sheriff's department, so I mean, the sheriffs are filling.
But the sheriffs ain't gonna bother if you peaceful protest. If you're doing a peaceful protest, the sheriff department ain't gonna bother.
I mean, no, legally they would have no right to. I mean, legally, but Derek Bryan made a point about Kobe, not to mention the Coke giveaways, the Christmas party at the high school, food pantries, and I think that Chris is gonna. Chris, I see you getting ready to make your announcement for mayor. McCaskill. Okay, here's Diana. Hold on one second. Let's add her.
Oh, Diana figured out. Oh, okay.
Thank you, Diana. You finally got here. Come on now, woman. Come on now.
I didn't realize you both were doing it at the same time.
Well, no, it's a shared feed, is what it is.
Oh, that's why. But I could not see the link on Ryan's. I had to come over here.
For some reason, it wasn't showing up. Yeah, I don't know why it does that.
Solomon said it's Chris joining. I don't think Chris is joining. I think Chris feels comfortable, just in the chat. So, hey,
I'm surprised. Chris loves to debate.
Listen, hey, Chris. I mean, hey, we want to hear your voice, brother.
Mr. Moore loves debate.
Let's do this. Let's get this last comment from Chris, and then we'll go back, and then we'll let everybody say their last segment words, and then I got a question for Diana.
Oh, okay, good. I can say let Diana say something. Don't.
Yeah, no. We're gonna let Diana say something too. But I mean, no. Let's do this. Anthony McCaskill has generated income and has received awards from the state of Illinois for fiscal responsibility. That's why Harvey Park District has $15 million in its accounts in the Harvey Park District. So basically, is this an endorsement of Anthony McCaskill or not? I mean, I'm just trying to get it. Okay. All right. Hold on one second. Now, Chris, we appreciate you, man. It sounds like to me like you have a definite agenda, brother.
Did you see? He says, "I don't know how to join. I'm not invited very often, so you have to help him." I don't know. Chris, what do you need us to help you? Can you see the link when Amir put it in the chat?
I'm gonna put it on the link, Chris.
You go to Amir's channel to skip the link.
Well, he's on
Facebook right now.
No, if you're on Facebook, then you won't be able. You got to get on YouTube. That's why you're not able to join. So that's what it is. Police officers have a rule. If I grab you, you go. Whatever rules they should be following in Harvey, a lot of those rules is out the door.
That's not right. That's not that. Shut up.
What you mean?
You don't supposed to, if they can ask you to leave. They don't have to come and grab you. When you start grabbing people or coming up and start grabbing people or start moving their stuff, you don't supposed to do that. You're supposed to ask them to leave and give them a couple of warnings. And then you ask them, if you do not leave, I will detain you and remove you from that seat. They didn't do that. They just walk up and start grabbing your stuff. You can't do that. There's certain things you have to do as a police officer, and that's why I say I digress.
Well, listen, as much as the feds have been in Harvey, I'm gonna say this, and then Dan, I'm gonna let you have your part, and then we're gonna do our closeouts. And Chris, if you could join us and get on the link on Facebook, you can say your segment. But we appreciate you too. I will say this.
I messaged to Chris. I'm sorry to interrupt, but Chris Moore, I messaged you on Facebook. I sent you the link, so you should have it now on Facebook. There you go.
Right. So we will say that if they were doing everything right, then the feds wouldn't have been living up in Harvey Police Station probably over several years back. And I mean, it's been ongoing federal investigations, and that's a well-known fact. And
they're still on investigation. Allegedly.
No, they are. They are. So
I had to say allegedly. Okay.
Yeah, there's no allegedly. They are literally under investigation. So.
I know that, but I was just saying allegedly.
Hey, here's Mr. Moore. Come on in, Mr. Moore.
Thank you, Ryan. Greetings, good people of the city of Harvey and all of our viewers. Thank you very much, Mr.
Hi, Mr. Moore. How are you?
All righty.
Mr. Moore, we got to get you up on technology, brother. You can't run if you don't got no technology. Peace going. What's up?
Chat was what his name? We forget his name. Don't we forget his name? What Jedediah, my buddy.
Oh my God! You said the illegal word. You said the illegal word. Oh my goodness.
No, you talking about the llama ops.
Thank all of y'all because at one point in time in Harvey, Illinois history, between the years of 2016 and 2019, I was absolutely on my own with discussing Chris Clark. It was nobody that could see that this guy was going to be the biggest fraud coming into the city of Harvey.
Which one? You talking about Clark or Jedediah?
Clark. We ain't talking about.
Okay. Okay.
Harvey. He is international. We talking about Harvey. And when we talk about Harvey, nobody was looking at the red flag coming from Christopher Clark. He was abusive to women. He was doing shady deals. He was a part of the Eric J. Kellogg administration. He was there the whole time to take it down, and he was getting together his aldermen. And that's why I say any alderman in the city of Harvey that doesn't have the support of 4 or more aldermen that's running for mayor is going to lose terribly here in this city. And it's a very funny town when it comes down to elections. And Kobe Chapman not going to stand a chance. If she's running, she's going to knock herself out of position in the 2nd ward. And Chris Clark will win the election again, just because a lot of people, and that's why I'm running, because people don't like Anthony McCaskill. Why? They don't never have a good reason, other than the fact he's not an animated person. He doesn't do a lot of talking. But when it comes down to the numbers, and it comes down to being clear, transparent, he has those financial reports. He has an answer for people that want to ask no questions. Chris Clark has a set of handcuffs if you ask the question. So when we're talking about the character of individuals, Anthony McCaskill has a great character. And I have witnessed when people come to board members and they to board meetings and top them down, he listens and he corrects everything that they're telling him about. So that is very having integrity. That's what he has. That's what Chris Clark lacks. And Chris Clark is doing the best job that he can. Because when he came in with the State Farm voice and saying that he had all of these plans for the people of the city of Harvey. When he's been pretending his whole life, Chris Clark is not his real name. He's changed a lot of things in his life to create this character that can't follow through here in the city of Harvey. So
you're saying he doesn't have the mental, psychological, and any other capability, and it's really showing right now.
He started out with good intentions, and and power corrupts, absolutely. Absolute power corrupts, absolutely, and Chris Clark is a victim of that corruption that comes from power. And the living God, the city of Harvey, what most people don't focus on, is a city that was founded on the Lord Jesus Christ. It was the name of the city of Harvey was founded on Jehovah God. When they cut the ribbons and prayed over the city, this is a city belonging to the living God. And people forget that 130 years has passed and his spirit has left this city. And what he does is afflict corrupt officials in the city of Harvey. If you sit back and ponder on the matter, every corrupt official in the city of Harvey, including those that we're talking about, the Lepke guy, they commit suicide, they get ailments, they die. The living God is not playing about the people of the city of Harvey, and he has an agenda from the very start 130 years ago. No matter what happens in the city of Harvey, it's not going to happen unless the living God allows. And what we need to do as a people in the city of Harvey is pray over these matters before we go to the polls, voting for Kobe Chapman because she feels like she got arrested. And we're supposed to feel sorry for her. But what she was doing was distracting. Instead of focusing on the finances, we would have been way ahead of the game. Nothing is coming out of City Hall from her or Tracy Key. And both of them, every one of the city council members in the city of Harvey, we need to put them behind us. That includes Chapman.
Chris, let me chime in for the because we're gonna give everybody a like the last statement. But you did say something that I just want you to clarify. So if the election was today, who would you vote for?
I'm gonna vote for myself because I'm absolutely gonna run for people of the city of Harvey. That's what I do. Just even today, I spend most of my time taking care of people that can't take care of themselves. Chris Clark, we discussed this, you and I, Amir. Chris Clark is right about things here in the city of Harvey. I will share with this group. One, people do not check on their loved ones here in the city of Harvey. They don't check on their elderly mothers, grandmothers, uncles, they are all across the nation. They are all Harvey world. But Chris Clark or any one of these corrupt aldermen can come to their door, take them to Red Lobster, pull them up a bus, and make them an egg breakfast sandwich and treat them nicely. They're going to support that Chris Clark and his administration. They don't get to go out anywhere. They come down to City Hall. They give Chris Clark their ID. They sign everything. That, oh, you're going to meet the mayor. You got to put 10 signatures to get in and say, what are you signing? Then you die. A lot of Chris Clark supporters from 2019 are dead. He focuses on things that are they are leaving this place.
I agree with that, Chris. I agree with
that.
So
wait. Stop right there. Are you trying to say that he's going through the obituaries and putting people's names down from the obituaries as voters? Is that what you're telling me?
We don't know the finances, and we don't know what people are signing either. And a lot of people, oh, well, that's my property. I lived it for 30 years, and the city says no, it's ours.
Mm-hmm.
How is it yours? You want to know why? Because they have signatures of you saying that it is. And I tell people, all of the seniors that are familiar with me, I'm against two things: gathering in public places in the city of Harvey and signing your name for anything. Do not use your signature that you use on your voter's card or on your banking account. If you signing anything in the city of Harvey, you better sign it with your left hand if you right hand, and vice versa if you left.
Well, Brother Moore, I wish you the best of luck, because this is the first time that I don't know if you even made it public or maybe you have, but I mean, we appreciate, you, because I know you've been invested in the community. I do believe that, you have a strength.
For the people of the city of Harvey, I want them to have nice new alleyways like they had in the Nick Graves administration. I want them to be cared for. While they're spending that, they are paying for this nonsense. All of these dollars that is unaccounted for, they come right out of the pocketbooks of 50, 60-year residents here in the city of Harvey, and I want them taken care of. And I focus on the character of candidates before they come out, oh yeah, I'm gonna do this. I'm looking right through you with my political eyes, that you are not right in your heart for the people of the city of Harvey. You just coming into the city of Harvey looking like for every other politician for the last 30, 40 years, with the exception of Eric J. Kellogg. His heart really was in Harvey. And as you can see through all those federal investigations, he had some cousins that got caught up doing some things that the government was never able to prove that he did because he was not involved. And we need people that really love Harvey. Kobe Chapman, she been here a little bit. She didn't grow up in Harvey. She didn't go to school in Harvey. She always been suspect of who she is.
Wow.
And from what
cronyism is real, brother. Cronyism is real. But Diana, let's give you the platform. Diana, you have the platform. Go ahead, say what you have to say.
So, I have a question for
Chris Clark is going to lose in the city of Harvey because he is missing one.
I have a question. I have a question for you. So, are you saying just because you didn't grow up here, that means you can't win an election here? That's one. Second question is,
The
did you run
odds of
for
winning
did
an
you run for
election
election
in
when
being
Clark ran?
outside are
One
slim.
moment. Can I finish? I want to get all my questions out because I got a senior moment right now. And did you run for election when Clark ran that last time? Because when he was running for election, there weren't a lot of good candidates on that ballot. So it was hard to even choose for Amir at that time.
L. McCaskill and his administration was coming into the city of Harvey and taking zero salary for the first 2 years to clean the city up, to deal with the financial issue that already existed. We were already $75 million in the hole at that time. And at one point in time during that the Kellogg administration, we weren't able to get our trash picked up. So we understood what was going on with Chris Clark, Shirley Jewinski, Joseph Whittington, and Lamont Brown, who should have never been on the board. And they were all sending the city off into the secret hidden agenda, what we're living in now, where it doesn't need businesses or residents. Chris Clark is trying to level this place for a pure trucking and storage warehouse facility. It doesn't need a resident to survive. All it needs is 6.25 miles of flat land to put up warehousing for Home Depots, Walmart, so their trucks can leave off onto the expressways that surround the city of Harvey. That's the secret hidden agenda. They don't need a resident. They don't need Dollar Tree. They don't need Family Dollar. They don't need anything. And like I said in the beginning when I came on here, this is a funny voting town. If you are not from Harvey, and basically if you didn't go to Thornton, which Chris Clark, I thought that was my final statement. I want to say it now. Chris Clark will lose in 2026-7 because he doesn't have what he had in 2019, and he doesn't have what he had in 2023. And that was one man, and that's Ryan Sinwith. He can't win without Ryan. He choked Ryan out. Ryan supported him. Ryan is here on this platform because he know he was fooled like many other Harvey residents, thousands.
Okay, Chris, I want to ask a question. I'm going to let Diana ask her question. Chris, I want to ask you a question. You said that Anthony McCaskill is transparent, right, about the money or whatever, right? But how come every time I see the meeting with him and they ask him about the budget, he never talks about it? He changed the subject. So, you told us, you just came on here and said that he's transparent or he's telling you whatever. But when every time they ask him about the budget, he has no answer. They don't know what the budget is.
I know what Anthony McCaskill is always the finance report. Always.
Okay, well, how come they keep asking for the finance report if we got the finance report? If they got the finance report in front of them, they shouldn't be asking the question. Am I correct?
Library is treasurer now is, I believe it's Felicia Powell Johnson. And Felicia Powell at the last meeting, the meeting before that, I always follow these meetings. And when I don't follow them and I don't have time, I will request the meeting, the minute. And it's always a financial report, and it's always money there. As opposed to the city of Harvey, Chris Clark not giving you will get arrested for asking about some finance and your water bill going up $200 extra for you even fixing your mouth.
No, because I don't want to keep everybody up all night, but we have to get to Solomon's other question. Solomon really wants to ask Chris.
Let's get to all the questions, but we got to get to Diana, and then let's give everybody one opportunity to say one last thing that they have to say so we can do this thing decent and in order.
Oh, okay. Well, my question really was, one of the questions was I didn't get answered was, he made a statement, if you didn't go to Thornton, you won't win the election. I think that's a kind of not a realistic statement right there, because if you look at Harvey right now, it's changed and it's changing. And everybody around here didn't go to Thornton, right? So just because you didn't go to Harvey, but maybe you lived in this area for a long time, you still have an opportunity to win. You're right. I remember I went to in Thornton Township. I never forget when there was a debate and McCaskill was there, and I heard when he said that he wasn't going to take a salary, but it was something about him that I could not get into him a while. It didn't seem real. It seemed like we were doing the same thing over and over again. And what Harvey really needs is a new change, a new phase, and it don't. Oh, you can't be doing the same thing, or we're gonna keep having the same outcome. Like. It's still feel nepotism, or it's like it doesn't. With the people, excuse me, with the people who are in office now, Clark is doing the same thing like McCaskill is doing at the library. So if you show us what you're going to be there, how can we? If God give you this, how can He give you something else? If you show this, so I'm saying is like we need. When I first moved around here, we moved out around here in 2000, and Harvey was about Harvey Pride and Harvey World. My kids played ball at Thornton, so I know about Thornton. I was at the Thornton High School when Kellogg got booed in the auditorium. So everybody wasn't loving him. My mother told me, and I'm gonna make it short and quick, that what happens is the seniors, they don't go against what. They always respect the people in power. That's how these people keep getting into these positions. But a lot of these seniors are going, and if you look on your block, I know on my block, the faces has definitely changed, and it's getting less of us on the block than any of the other people's moving in. So there is a change, there's transition, and I think we need to be more aware of the transition and not stay in the past. And we gotta start having power forward thinking people out here. That's why we're in this mess. But I'm gonna let you have it. I'm not gonna stay on here long. I thank you, Amir. Thank you, Ryan. Thank you, Five.
Don't get off. Don't get off. Don't get off, Diana. Just give us like 5 minutes and we'll be done. Because some of these questions may be directed towards you. So if you don't mind, because Ryan's right, we do got to get to the questions and they've been waiting. So
no, there's just one. He just wants to know about nepotism. That's it. So finish that, and then we can move on.
Go ahead, read the question, Ryan. Where is it?
Solomon has been asking over and over and over and saying, has anybody asked the question about nepotism? So he wants Chris to talk about Anthony McCaskill's nepotism. That's it.
The people of the city of Harvey, Anthony McCaskill's family is a political family. His wife is the current 5th District Cook County Commissioner. His daughter, they have went to college and studied political science and business administration. Their whole family focuses and lives and breathes politics. They could have left the city of Harvey and been successful multimillionaires in any other community, and they chose to stay here. The people of the city of Harvey elected Amir McCaskill, Aaron McCaskill, Anthony McCaskill. They have and Keisha McCaskill was appointed by the powers that be now, and she's going to win this next election. When the people elect you, when the people choose you, it's not nepotism. If a family is able to be elected, each and every person in that family elected and chosen by the people, it can't be nepotism. Nepotism is when I get employed and I decide I'm gonna have my brother as the chief of police, I'm gonna get my uncle to do this, I'm gonna get my sister to do this, I'm gonna get my daughter to do this. That's not what's happening. The people of the city of Harvey are electing the McCaskill.
Okay, so you don't. So the statement is you don't agree with there isn't nepotism. It's their elected officials rightfully. We got it.
Quick question. Didn't I just see recently that somebody said that it was at the library, the Park District, where the young man, he got kicked off the board, and then the McCaskill, somebody else took over the position?
Yeah, Wayman Cotton. He decided he wanted to go on a mission to learn more about politics, and he wanted to go on one of those fabulous vacations that every board across the state of Illinois does, especially in Harvard. They love the trips to Vegas to learn. They're supposed to learn. He decided he wanted to go, so they set it up for him to go and get training because that's a part of, the process. He decided he wasn't going to go. He didn't go, He didn't. Monies was spent for him to go. He didn't show up. Not only did he didn't go to that, he never showed up to any meeting whatsoever after that. He could care less what happened. A judge, a Cook County judge, and I'm glad we got Amir here. He could verify these things. A Cook County judge removed him. Not only was you a no-show, he only showed back up when it was time to attack the McCaskills. And believe me, Wayman Cotton is on the payroll. He's on the payroll to other politicians that want that 5th District Cook County commissioner. All you have to do is follow that political association. And you will see he was only there. Now he's Wayman Cotton. I'm a trustee. I'm the park, but you didn't show up for the people. And we don't have money to waste in the city of Harvey. And that's why he's off that board legally. It's nothing even to discuss. He will tell you how corrupt the McCaskills are. But tell us about the Cook County judge. Is he corrupt that removed you?
Let's do this, Gil. Let's get through.
Can't get into what people saying because they on the payroll.
Let's do this. Let's do this because I want to be respectful of people's time. Let's get the questions and let me go through some of these questions and then we'll give everybody like 1 minute to make a final statement.
Well, like Raymond, if he want any respect coming from Harvey, Illinois voters block, my office, he could pay back the money that he cost the people of the city of Harvey before he even started it. That's
Chris,
what he can do. It can't be a lot. He could pay
Chris,
that.
stay on real quick. We're gonna wrap up. But some of these questions you can answer. But let's be brief because we want to be respectful of people's time. Does anyone know, this is Solomon's question, the reason behind the closing stores, what the cease and desist was about? Well, Clark and them was lucid about it. No one really knows. And the corporations were not given a sufficient reason. Henceforth, they are opened back up, but they lost a lot of money. So, that's to answer that question.
Right.
Let me go through. I
called. They don't want to release that information. They're not saying. I did call to ask the corporations. Yeah, they don't want to say.
Derek said some of the elected officials owe tax money. That's wrong. We don't doubt that, Derek. Ryan, okay, we asked about the nepotism issue. We got through that. Has Anthony McCaskill been transparent with the budgets he oversees?
We talked about that. Yeah,
I don't think everybody agrees with it. So it's who it is you're talking to type thing. Let's see what else. What else am I missing, guys? Okay, everybody. Then what we'll do? Great discussion. Everybody, I just want you to put a 1 in the chat if you agree that Chris Clark should go. If you think that he should stay, put a 2 in the chat. And starting with Diana, we'll go around and we'll give 1 minute for last statements. And make sure you put your channel and everything in there too, Diana, where people can find you. Also, you as well, Ryan. We'll establish that again, and you as well, Foxy. But go ahead.
Okay, well, of course, I'm D-Love. I live in the 6th Ward. And my apology, my YouTube name is No Apologies, Just Me. I agree. If only way this is going to change and make a difference, everybody gets out and vote. I know in my block, a lot of people don't even come to these meetings, and they're really not. They'll act like they're too concerned about what's going on. We got to do better about educating everyone about what's going on in our community, especially since we don't have a lot of police officers anymore. And one thing for sure, the lights are on Sibley, so we can't see on Sibley now, but not on Halsted.
They all the way on.
They're on, yes, but not on Halsted.
No, the light on Sibley is completely on. We want to thank our firefighters and the 40% of essential workers. They are absolutely on from the beginning all the way to Dixie.
But again, we need to get Halsted because that's where the whole stroll is at, right? By the car wash. So that needs to be worked on. But again, I thank you. I hope that more gets out about what's going on in Harvey. This is not a reality TV show. This is a real live situation that's going on. We have people the same color going against each other. We can't get along with each other by why other communities and ethnic groups are together. We're the only part who can't get it together. And I was gonna say something about that Family Dollar on Sibley. Now, I had an issue with them because they overcharged me, and if they overcharge me, I figured it out. They overcharge other people too, so they need to be audited as well. I'm just saying.
Okay.
I'm so, but I did send it to Kwame Raoul. So, but I thank you so much, and I appreciate this time, and I can't wait to see y'all on the other side.
Thanks, D Love. Stay on, please, for just the remainder, because we just want to make sure, because there might be some. Go ahead, MC. We got you.
My point is like this. As far as the Family Dollars, Dollar Tree, and Dollar General is concerned, there's been a national debate going on as far as them closing stores in that market. We might have just handed them the keys for the doors for those stores and said that they'll be out of here. Now, Mr. Moore doesn't seem like he really cares too much if they would be here or not. But the idea is that at this point, it's the only place we can go to shop in the area if you're on walking traffic.
Ward resident and as well, Family Dollar. Matter of fact, I opened the store over 25, 30 years ago. I was the first customer. I spent $5 in that store. I walked out with a big old bag. So
Mr. Moore, you're gonna have to come on because you got a lot of people who want to hear from you. So I'm just letting you know. But go ahead, MC. Finish up.
So, I mean, the main thing is we probably just handed the keys over to Family Dollar, Dollar Tree, Dollar General, whichever it's going to be, to close the stores. And to be honest with you, I've talked to a few people in regards to voting for the upcoming election, and everybody thinks Clark needs to go, but then again, they think that the whole panel needs to go. And I'm one of those who believes that line too. You got to start with a whole fresh regime. That's all I got.
Okay. All right, Foxy.
Okay, this is my closing. Like I said before, this is 2026. You got a whole year to get out here and campaign for whoever you're going to have and have them running for mayor. You already said you're going to get Clark. You want Clark out. So you're going to have to get out here, like D Love said, and vote. You can't sit back and say, well, it ain't going to matter if I vote or not. No, you need to get out here and go door to door and get these people to come out and vote. So whichever way the votes go, this is where it goes. But you got to get these people out to vote one way or the other. And this year, from now until I say till May, April or May, this is the time to start campaigning. So by the time you get, close to the end of the year, your campaign will be strong. This is where you start. Now is the time to start. To start your campaign, see where you stand with your campaign, and then by July, you should be getting ready to start going strong. So you should be able to get your who you're going to have on your slate as for aldermen to back you up as a mayor. People got to figure out who they want for aldermen for the different wards. And you're going to have to get out here. These people that's going to run for alderman going to have to get out here and put their boots on the ground and start going out here door to door. If you sit back and wait until election time and say, well, we ain't got but so many people to vote, we got this person, that person, that's all we have to vote. We got to go, vote between the most evil or the most, most credible one. Then that's because you didn't get out here and, these people didn't get out here and sell themselves. You got to get out here and campaign. And, that's the problem where I'm saying with Harvey. They're not campaigning. You need to get out here and campaign. And this is the time to start from here until July, June. And then July, you should be getting ready to go strong. You should have all your lineup or who you want as your all the people to run with you. I don't know if y'all do slates or not, but if that's the case, then you need to go ahead and get your slate together now. Don't wait till the last minute. And that's all I have to say, because you need to go ahead and start now. This is 2026. Don't wait till 2027 and then try to bring some people in and say, oh, we running for mayor. But that's what happened with the township, remember? Nobody was running for the supervisor. Then at the last minute, here go these people popping up. We want to run for supervisor. So don't do that with Harvey, okay? Please don't do that with Harvey. Start now, so you have the people have a choice. instead of having 1 or 2 people and that's it.
And tell them where they find you at, Foxy, your channel, please.
Oh, okay. My name of my channel is Foxy Angel Zone, but you can find me under Foxy 2, Roxy 3. I deal with a lot of politics. We also have another channel called OTR that I'm on. We is off the records called OTR. It's me, Minion with Opinion, and I said what I said, and we talk about a lot of politics of what's going on now within the world with OTR. Me, I just try to balance out between what's going on here where I live at, Harvey, when I can, if I find out any information about Harvey, I'm gonna come on and try to talk about it. And also I talk about, everyday life. So, it's Foxy 2, Roxy 3, but the name of my channel is Foxy Angel Zone.
All right. Chris, we're gonna let you come next. Mr. Moore.
We ready now?
Yes, sir.
All right. In closing, I just want to say, I want to agree with the gentleman who said that we need a clean slate. We can't go. We did that with Chris Clark, and he was behind. Him and Keith Price was very, very instrumental in putting us in the position that we're in. We can't go forward with elect people that are sitting inside a city council now. Absolutely, we absolutely have to go fresh with a fresh start. I want the young lady who was talking about who lives right in the 6th Ward. What's going on Halsted Street? That's something that actually it was worse. I actually personally myself, you see all of the boarded up. I boarded up all of those buildings, burnt down now. It actually took me almost 20 hours to scour that building. I made all the police calls. I called police. I got rid of all of the male prostitutes because I just thought that was extra disgusting. But I don't have, like what I do is volunteer, and more residents need to get involved and actually call the police when they see people loitering, when they see these type of, a lot of people have died on that corner. And Alderman Tyrone Rogers, how many of your neighbors actually voted for him? Because people run and they come around, he come around with his slick hairdos, and he come around with his old Mississippi drawl, and people are voting for him, and he's a sellout to the people of the city of Harvey. He's a cable guy. I've known him my whole life. I was a little boy he's always been a cable guy. And, he was caught up in scandals before, stealing out of the metro station. Eric J. Kellogg had to terminate him. And he was terminated for stealing change out of the metro. That didn't stop people. And he was accused of raping and sodomizing a woman in the bottom of Harvey City Hall before he was alderman. And they still 327 people or 333 people somewhere in that area voted for him in the 6th Ward. They go, he has a perfect opportunity to go to the school, and he's able to talk to each and every parent and put on his good suit that he sells his vote for in Harvey City Hall. Right. These people, Chris Clark has something on each and every one of these aldermen. That's including Chapman, that's including Stacey Keys. So they all have to go. But I just want to say this in closing. Chris Clark, it sounds just like it looked in 2019. It sounds like it's easy to beat Chris Clark. But I got news for you. He's going to be hard to unseat. That's for anybody going. That's me. That's Kobe Chapman. That's Anthony McCaskill. He's learned twice. Chris Clark is going to be hard to beat. And I'm going to tell you that his residents in the 6th Ward where I live at, they think he's doing a good job, and they think that he needs more time. In fact, now I just got messages the other day. They said, why you don't never say anything good when Clark, he cut the lights on 147th Street. They own. But, with me, Stephanie Johnson, 52-year-old Stephanie Johnson was killed because the lights was off. Cookie Tawana Brown, 48-year-old, killed, run down. Gentleman Les, 50-year-old Les, last name unknown. His car stopped on 140, got out to check out what was going on in this hood. He was run down and killed. And I actually witnessed with a car, as much as you got yourself dressed today and you put on all your clothes and your socks and your sweater and your brassiere and everything, a vehicle hit you, it will knock you out of all of your clothes.
That's horrible, Chris. That's horrible. And
just what he had to say about Tawana Cookie Brown. Oh, it wasn't no big thing because she was a crackhead. What he was telling people, but she was somebody's mother. She was somebody's family.
Talking about Clark. I'm sorry.
What I'm saying is these people don't care about you. And this current administration doesn't care about the residents. They don't care that you're alleyways. They don't care that you're a victim of crime. They care about the paycheck that they are receiving from your tax dollars. That's each and every last one. You want to keep that in mind. And no matter who you choose, let's not do what we did in 2023. And the campaign was say no to everybody. And that campaign was successful because nobody went to the polls. 7% of Harvey residents went to the polls. We have a little bit over 3,000 people making all the decisions for over 25,000 people. It is a huge voter pool that is untouched in the city of Harvey. And that is the voter pool that I am going to be looking to tap into. It's not 3,000 people that's going to vote for Clark.
Thanks, Chris. Thanks, Chris. We gonna stop you right there, and let's get to Ryan. Or you want me to go before you, and you want to end it, Ryan? Whichever one. I don't care.
No, it's fine. It's you're hosting tonight, so you can end. I just wanted to agree with Diana. I don't think residency or amount of residency, as long as you've been here enough legally to run an election. I think it's like a year or something. I don't think that should matter because Exhibit A, Mayor Kellogg, he grew up in Harvey and had lots of family here, and he used all of his Harvey connections to betray the city and was one of the worst corrupt mayors in Illinois history. So if we're going to use residency as a sign of whether you should be elected or not, I mean, he would be the case against that. I don't think it really matters if you're a longtime resident or not. It matters also, as Diana said, I'm going to agree with her again. Look at the past track record. So if you want to judge, me on, let's say you're hiring me or whatever, you have to look at how I did something else. So that's my problem with the McCaskills. If you just look at how they've managed what they have managed over the years, I don't think the track record looks very good. The fiscal accountability is not there, et cetera, et cetera. I agree. We definitely need people to come out to vote. I'm glad that Chris came on tonight because I want people to realize that we should be having dialogue. I want differing views and opinions. So like you said, Amir, as long as people are respectful, because we got to get people interested. People have to be interested and feel engaged and feel involved, and they've got to come out and vote. They've got to, get engaged. Please, please, please. I'm asking, consider running for something. I'm throwing in my hat for second ward alderman. I'm hoping Diana will consider running for something as well. We know Colby's running for mayor. Chris said he wants to run for mayor, but this is not like scarcity, like we can only have a few people. So many open positions. So please, 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 and then let me and Amir and other people know what can we do to make this more real for people, to realize that if you don't take part in local politics, you can rant for or against Trump all day online. But this is the stuff that really affects your life. This affects your life much more than the stuff at the federal level. So yeah, that's all for me.
I will say I'm going to agree with you on pretty much everything, and everyone has said some vital points tonight. I will say that according to our small mini poll, that majority of people, 99.5%, want Chris Clark to go. And Mr. Moore, Brother Moore, I do believe that if the public is tired enough, then they will get rid of folks like Chris Clark. When people can't eat and they've been furloughed and the workforce can't provide for their family, then that's a whole new extreme that they haven't had to deal with in the past. So that alone will remove these public officials. we're not even talking about corruption. We're not even talking about some of the outstanding long-term issues, the harassment, the high level of ticketing. We're just talking about just being a decent human being. So I will say that that's where I draw the line, because I'm not trying to run for an office, but political corruption, the abuse of power for private gain, unethical behavior, illegal acts like bribery and embezzlement and nepotism and fraud, like somebody mentioned, nepotism, which distorts policy. It misuses the public trust. That's where we have to draw the line. When I see an 80-year-old long-term elderly business person get beat down, for me, you have to draw the line. And not only do these people need to be in jail, but they need to be under the jail. And that's why I'm working. I don't have any other skin in the game. And for me, I hate tyrants. I think tyrants have to be destroyed from the ground up. So that's where we're at. Chris Clark needs to go. Whoever is in agreement with him needs to go. And I'm not so sure about anyone else. I say that there have been long-term vehicles in that city hall that they have let accountability fall through the cracks. And that goes for everybody there. There's things that should have been done that haven't been addressed, and there's reasons why, and only those people know why, because they've been in those meetings. I will say that I do believe that Kobe Chapman is the closest thing in resemblance to what the future could be, just on the outside looking in. But I do know that every story is there might be a two-way street there. That's why I like to see like you speaking up, Chris. Because I believe that, you're invested in the community. I like when you speak, brother, and I like what you have to say. I don't have to agree with everything that you have to say, but who does? You know what I mean? No one really does. But the bottom line is you're not afraid to speak your own opinion and speak your voice, which I do like, because I think that is a distinction that we need in the community. If we have a bunch of yes men, then we have enemies, because they might be worse than enemies. So we need people who are not afraid to go against the grain and hold these crooks accountable. And we need Chris and everyone else to go. We need a financial audit. I believe that Chris will disappear. Christopher Clark. I believe that everything that he's created has been a clusterfuck, and it's just time for a change in Harvey. And if you're that change, Chris Moore, then let it be known, brother. Diana, D-Love, she's running. Ryan's running. I'm saying y'all have to make y'all voices known, because what Harvey needs is ethical, good leadership, and we're standing behind you. I can't vote in Harvey. Foxy can't vote in Harvey, but you guys can. MC, you can vote in Harvey. We need ethics. We need people who will stand up against the grain and do the right thing by the people. So, I appreciate the conversation. Let's keep it going, and let's hold these people accountable. And you will see, I want to say the last thing, you will see this coming week, you will see more actions on the ground. You'll see more videos. This is a little thing that I want to leave y'all with. Y'all know what the 3/5 rule is? The 3/5 rule is that if you get 3/5 of the people talking against you, protesting against you, you can't come back from that. So that's one of the things that we're doing with this administration. We are keeping the information going so that the narrative can continue spreading. If I'm in the laundromat and I hear the seniors talking about that bad Chris Clark, then I know I did my job. And guess what? I'm doing my job. You hear me? So we appreciate Crook. We appreciate everybody. Solomon, everybody in the chat. With Ramona, Beth. Listen, let's keep this thing going. Chris, we need to see you, brother, and hear from you, because you have a vested interest. And I love it when you speak, man. I'm just going to be honest with you. But let's do this. Let's come to the table. If you're running for mayor, hey, it's your obligation to let the people know what it is.
I'm gonna give Keith Price something to do this election. That's getting online and telling us that Chris Clark is the best thing for Harvey.
I love that Keith Price project. I'm just gonna be honest. That last Keith Price project, I love what you did. So hey, I ain't mad at you. All right, everybody. Hey, listen, thank y'all. Please follow the Follow the YouTube channels. Listen, let's keep this information going. We don't have a Calvary. We are the Calvary. These people that you see here are the Calvary. If you guys got any questions or want to reach out to anybody, feel free to reach me. I'll get in contact with everyone. If not, just go back into the video and get their personal information, reach them out. But let's keep the conversation going. That's all.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, you always welcome. You need to come back to what you're talking about. Peace, y'all. Thank y'all. Thanks in the chat, y'all. Peace.